Chapter 794. How could he not know that? He had waited for many days for Zhao Yun'er to come to Yang City when it rained, but Zhao Yun'er never came. He knew that Zhao Yun'er would not come when it rained. So he asked around and went to Shui Lan village. Then he saw Zhao Yun'er, Daodu, and Mu Yanfeng. When he found out, he was indeed disheartened. It was not easy for him to have feelings for a woman, but this woman had already started a family. In other words, it was basically impossible between him and Zhao Yun'er. After being disheartened for a few days, he suddenly thought it through. Facing the woman he liked, even if she had a child and a husband, what could he do in the future? She was still her, and that did not stop him from liking her. It was enough for him to be able to take a few more glances at the woman he liked every day. Why did he have to be with her? After thinking it through, Mu Yanfeng continued to come to Zhao Yun'er's stall every day for breakfast. When Mu Yanfeng heard this, the corners of his mouth curved up slightly. When Zhao Yun'er said this, she was naturally telling another man that she was his and that no one could take her away from him. His originally gloomy mood instantly improved. Yun'er. If that's the case, let him eat if he wants to. Our family's business can't be abandoned. We can't just let the money go to waste. Mu Yanfeng finally relented and said to Zhao Yun'er. If he said no, it would seem that he was too petty and did not trust Zhao Yun'er. Seeing that Zhao Yun'er had extinguished the war between the two men with just a few words, Zhao Ping'er was unusually indignant. She bit her lower lip and said to Mu Yanfeng, "Heir presumptive." Before Zhao Ping'er could say anything, Mu Yanfeng looked over coldly. "Shut up." Zhao Ping'er trembled for a moment. She was indignant, but she could only shut her mouth. Yi Li was speechless. It was good that he was allowed to continue eating breakfast. "All right, let's get back to work," Zhao Yun'er said. "Yes." Mu Yanfeng nodded. As he spoke, Mu Yanfeng went to the front of the stall and continued to deal with the women who swarmed over. Yi Li sat down at the table and started eating. The smoke between the two men was finally extinguished. Zhao Yun'er breathed a sigh of relief. He would definitely not let Mu Yanfeng come here again. Otherwise, something bad would definitely happen. Because of the presence of Mu Yanfeng and Yi Li, the two gorgeous men, Zhao Yun'er's breakfast stall was closed early again. When they went back, Zhao Ping'er wanted to follow them, but Zhao Yun'er glared at her. "Zhao Ping'er, you're quite capable. You're actually trying to drive a wedge between me and the crown prince. You're the one who won't admit it." "I'm just stating the truth. I don't even know myself, but you actually know. You're quite capable. You don't have to come to the stall tomorrow." Zhao Ping'er was immediately unhappy. "Why should I?" "Because this stall is mine. Zhao Yun'er, you didn't let me come over because you were afraid that I would see you whispering sweet nothings to another man. Crown Prince, look at Zhao Yun'er. She has a guilty conscience, but you actually believe her nonsense." Zhao Ping'er anxiously spoke to Mu Yanfeng. She was still unwilling to give up slandering Zhao Yun'er. Zhao Ping'er was still unwilling to give up. Mu Yanfeng sneered. His sharp gaze landed on Zhao Ping'er. His smile was even colder. "Are you saying that this crown prince is blind?" Chapter 795. Of course, this was only what Mu Yanfeng thought in his heart, but he did not dare to say it out loud. If he said it out loud, he would definitely lose his life. "Let's go, mother," Mu Yanfeng. Zhao Yun'er said and beckoned them to get on the carriage, but she did not take Zhao Ping'er with her. "Zhao Yun'er, what are you doing? I want to get on the carriage too. If you want to go back, you can walk back by yourself. My family's Xiao Mao is in a bad mood today. I don't want to pull you," Zhao Yun said with a smile. At this time, Father Wu's ox cart had already left. Zhao Ping'er wanted to go back to the village, so she could only walk back. "Zhao Yun'er, you're too much. Mother." Zhao Ping'er's pleading eyes fell on Liang Jinxiao, but Liang Jinxiao shook his head and did not want to care about this matter. Ping, girl, if you want to talk about going overboard, it's you who went overboard today. How can you say that to Yun? Zhao Ping, curled her lips. Mother, you're helping her again. Before Zhao Ping, could finish her words, Zhao Yun, patted Xiao Mao's butt, and Xiao Mao immediately flew out. When Zhao Ping, reacted, she could not catch up with it even if she wanted to. Zhao Yun, felt that she was too kind to Zhao Ping, She should go back and teach her a lesson. On the way back, Zhao Yun, let Mu Yanfeng rest on her shoulder. His body hadn't recovered yet, and after working so hard for the whole morning, he was probably exhausted. Mu Yanfeng leaned on Zhao Yun's shoulder and held Zhao Yun's hand tightly along the way, as if he let go, Zhao Yun would leave him. After a while, they arrived at the village. Zhao Yun cooked lunch and cooked a few dishes at noon. In the afternoon, Zhao Wenhua came over to discuss the purchase of materials. He started preparing to build the house. Apart from some of the materials that he needed, he had to prepare the rest. It would not be worth it to buy such things. It would be better to go to the mountains and cut them down himself. Shuilan village was next to a big mountain, and the last thing they lacked was wood. There were even more trees that were decades old in the mountains, and each of them was very thick. The ones he chopped down himself were probably better than the ones he bought. Yunner, let's find some time tomorrow afternoon to bring the bricks and tiles over. I'll find a few men to cut down some of the wood for the beams at the foot of the mountain. Zhao Yunner nodded. All right, father. You can arrange these things. If there's anything you need me to do, just let me know. Zhao Wenhua smiled and said, actually, it's not a big deal, but I have to let you know before I do it. Zhao Wenhua still preferred Zhao Yunner's opinion. Now, he felt that he wanted to push the authority to Zhao Yunner. This woman of his was much more capable than him now. When Mu Yanfeng heard this, he said to Zhao Wenhua, Uncle, if you're going to cut down trees, bring me along. I can help too. How could Zhao Wenhua be willing to trouble Mu Yanfeng with this kind of rough work? He said to Mu Yanfeng, no need, Lord Heir. We'll do it. How can someone like you go into the mountains to cut down trees? Mu Yanfeng raised his eyebrows indifferently. Uncle, do you think it's a good idea for me to do this job? No, no, no. Zhao Wenhua hurriedly waved his hand. Lord Heir, that's not what I meant. This kind of rough work should be done by us countrymen. You shouldn't be doing this kind of work. You should be doing something big that we won't do. Chapter 796. When Zhao Yun saw Mu Yanfeng's expression, she said to Zhao Wenhua, Father, since he wants to work, let him do it. If he's with me in the future, I can't treat him like a treasure and wait on him. I have to let him learn how to do our family's farm work. Zhao Yun said it casually, as if she was talking about an extremely normal matter. Zhao Wenhua wiped the cold sweat on his forehead. His daughter really treated Mu Yanfeng as an ordinary man. Yun, this isn't a good idea. Zhao Wenhua said with some hesitation. There's nothing wrong with it, father. You can't spoil him. Although he's the heir in front of others, he's your son-in-law in the future. Do you have to be so polite to your own son-in-law? Zhao Yun said with a smile. When Zhao Yun said this, Zhao Wenhua felt that it made some sense. Mu Yanfeng also said, yes, uncle. You don't have to be polite to me. If you have any work to do, just order me around. Zhao Wenhua's heart was conflicted for a moment, but he still nodded in agreement in the end. All right then. Heir, I'll call you when we go into the mountains to cut down trees. Okay. After Zhao Yunlong finished talking about this matter, he went back. Zhao Yun finished preparing breakfast and went to the vegetable garden to tidy up. When it was 3 or 4 o'clock, Daodu pulled Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, Mother, San-er's mother is back. But they're quarreling. Mother, do you want to go and take a look? Mulan is back. That's quite fast. But what did Daodu mean by quarreling? Mulan was quarreling for no reason. Who was she quarreling with? Zhao Yun frowned slightly. She was curious and said to Daodu, "Okay, then Daodu will bring mother over." "Yes, yes." Daodu nodded and held Zhao Yun with his soft little hand. The two of them walked in the direction of Mulan's house. When they arrived at Mulan's courtyard, Zhao Yun finally understood why Daodu said they were quarreling. From afar, she could hear old Madame Zhu talking at the top of her voice. Qi Shi was on the side helping her, but she didn't know what she was talking about. When Zhao Yun went over, she saw Mulan standing in the courtyard. Behind her stood a 16 or 17-year-old girl. She looked very charming and resembled Mulan. Zhao Yun remembered that Mulan mentioned that she had a younger sister who was around this age. The girl behind Mulan now should be Mulan's younger sister, Mu Hin. However, this was the first time she came to Mulan's house. Mrs. Zhu was so fierce and unfriendly. Mu Hin seemed a little scared and nervous. She shrank behind Mulan, lowered her head, and didn't dare to speak. Mulan confronted Mrs. Zhu confidently. Zhao Yun got closer and heard what Mrs. Zhu said. "Second daughter-in-law, it's not that I want to criticize you, but you brought your younger sister back. Our courtyard is already so crowded. How can there be so many people living in it?" "That's right. She eats and drinks your food every day. Second daughter-in-law, you have so much money to support an outsider. Why don't you use the money to show filial piety to our mother?" Madame Qi chimed in and mocked. Old Madame Zhu snorted, then continued to mock. "She's so filial. She fawns over others every day and treats others well. How would she know that I'm her mother-in-law?" Chapter 797. Madame Qi continued to mock Mulan as if she was afraid that she wouldn't be able to cause any trouble. If Mrs. Zhu and Mulan were to quarrel, she would naturally be happy to see it happen. At the mention of this, Mrs. Zhu became even angrier. She snorted coldly. "I've never seen such an unfilial woman. How did our family marry such a daughter-in-law? We've been so unlucky for half our lives. It's so shameful if this gets out. She doesn't provide for her own daughter-in-law and son." After Mrs. Zhu finished speaking, Madame Qi continued to speak. "Isn't that so? Which family doesn't take good care of their in-laws? Otherwise, how can they be considered a good daughter-in-law? It's fine if second sister-in-law isn't filial to you, but now that she's a member of our family Zhu, she's actually helping to provide for her own family. In the entire village, no, in the entire town, there's no one like her within a few hundred miles. I think she just doesn't think of herself as a family Zhu's daughter-in-law." Mrs. Zhu snorted coldly. "For so many years, our family Zhu has raised a traitor for nothing." When Zhao Yun heard Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi's words, she couldn't help but sneer. These two people were really interesting. They echoed each other and scolded Mulan. This Madame Qi was the most interesting. Now, she kept saying that she was filial, but she had never been filial to Mrs. Zhu. She didn't know how she had the nerve to say this. Mrs. Zhu was also a weirdo. She didn't think about how she usually treated Mulan. If she were Mulan, it would be a good thing if she didn't chase Mrs. Zhu away. Filial to her. She would feed her sh*t every day. Mulan lowered his head and suppressed the anger in his heart. In fact, he felt a little guilty. A married woman couldn't help her own family much. Moreover, he had brought his younger sister back. It was fine if she stayed for 2 days, but she would have to stay every day in the future. When the people in the village heard about this, they couldn't help but nag at the back like Mrs. Zhu. But what could he do? Other than buying her sister back, she really didn't know what else to do. Mu Hin tugged at Mulan's arm and said to Mulan, "Sis, why don't you send me back?" She saw her elder sister's situation and didn't want Mulan to be in a difficult position. It wasn't worth it for Mulan to be criticized in such a way for her sake. Mulan grabbed Mulan's hand. Xin, how can I let you go back? If you go back, you'll be like a wolf in a tiger's den. I can't just watch you jump into a sea of fire. This time, Mulan returned to her parents' home because her cheap mother had died. All these years, after marrying her father, her mother had been suffering all day. Not only did she have to work tirelessly at her husband's house every day, but she was also disliked. It was mainly because her mother only gave birth to 2 girls, her and her younger sister. Because she didn't give birth to a boy, her husband's family felt that their bloodline had been cut off because of her father's family. They were always picky with her mother and even scolded her mother for being a hen that couldn't lay eggs. Just like that, her mother lived in her husband's house for more than 20 years. She didn't eat well during her work and her health deteriorated. This time, she accidentally caught a cold and was called to the embassy. In the end, her body couldn't take it anymore and her illness worsened. In the end, she died. Of course, Mulan didn't know all this. Because after marrying into the family Zhu, her life wasn't easy and she didn't have time to visit her parents' home often. Chapter 798. Knowing that her mother had passed away, her maternal family brought the news over, and she rushed back to her maternal family. Of course, Mu Hin was the one who told her the details of her mother's illness. She was not at her maternal family's house, but Mu Hin was. After hearing about her mother's suffering, Mulan was furious. If she knew that her mother was in such a situation, she would definitely bring her mother here and take good care of her. Her mother would not have passed away at such a young age at the age of 40. This was not the most important thing. The most infuriating thing was that when her mother had just been buried, her grandmother was too inhumane. She actually said that she wanted to sell her younger sister, Mu Hin, to an old widower in the village for 20 taels of silver. On the surface, she meant that she would marry over, and the 20 taels of silver would be the wedding gift. However, Mulan knew that she was selling her younger sister. In this day and age, people would gossip if they sold their daughters. That was why her grandmother found such an excuse. Mulan had heard about the old widower. He had a wife before, but she was beaten to death by him. He liked to gamble and beat people. He had a bad temper. Now that he was in his 50s, he wanted to marry a wife and have children. How could Mulan let her younger sister fall into such a fire? If Mu Hin really married over, not only would she be ruined, but she might also lose her life in the future. After all, he had beaten one wife to death first. Who knew if he would beat a second wife to death? Of course, after she sold Mu Xian for 20 taels of silver, she could pay for her father's second wife and marry another woman. By then, she might even have a son. It would be good for her father to carry on the family line. Mulan's father was also a good-for-nothing. He felt that Mulan's mother did not give birth to a son for him, which made him feel very embarrassed. Therefore, he did not like his wife. This time, Mulan's grandmother made such an arrangement for him, and he naturally agreed to it. If he could really have a son, it would be even better. After he had a son, no one would laugh at him anymore. Mulan was extremely disappointed in her family. Even a beast would not do such a wicked thing. This time, after returning home, Mulan had a big fight and directly brought Mu Hin back. Mulan didn't want her younger sister to stay in that kind of family any longer. Naturally, he would not let Mu Hin suffer. When Mulan brought Mu Hin back, the Mu family did not agree so easily. In comparison, Mulan had to negotiate and agree. She took out 5 taels of silver and Mu Hin could come back with her. 5 taels of silver was only Mulan's father's betrothal gift, so both sides had compromised. However, Mulan had to give the 5 taels of silver to the Mu family within half a month. Otherwise, she would directly take Mu Hin back and let her marry that old widower. Compared to her younger sister's life, Mulan felt that 5 taels of silver was still acceptable. Although she was unwilling to take out the 5 taels of silver, she knew that if she did not take it out, the Mu family would probably really force her younger sister to marry that old widower. After all, the Mu family was extremely shameless. It was not impossible for them to do such a thing. Naturally, she could not take out the 5 taels of silver. After thinking about it, she could only borrow it from Zhao Yuner and return it to Zhao Yuner when the time came. Mulan was in a daze for a moment. She pulled herself out of the memory and then held Mu Hin's hand tighter. Chapter 799. Mulan knew what Mu Hin wanted to say, so she comforted Mu Hin. Xin, don't worry. I'm here. I won't let you live a hard life. She knew how hard life could be. Once she got married, it would be a matter of a lifetime. Since her family was unreliable, as her older sister, she had to help Mu Hin settle down. Big sister. Mu Hin looked at Mulan with tears in her eyes. She seemed to be touched by the warmth that Mulan brought to her. Mulan took a deep breath and said to Mrs. Zhu and Madam Qi, "Mother, sister-in-law, we've already separated from the family. Even if I raise my sister, it's my business. My man hasn't said a word yet. When did you take turns to interfere? Besides, mother, sister-in-law, when we separated from the family, we agreed that I won't neglect what I should be filial to mother, but I won't give more than what I should. In other words, I won't give more or less than sister-in-law." After Mulan finished speaking, Mrs. Zhu became even angrier, but she didn't know what to say. Even Madam Qi didn't know what to say. Just as Mulan said, she would give what she should and wouldn't give less than what she gave. What reason did she have to criticize her? In addition, if she asked Mulan to give more to Mrs. Zhu, she would definitely say that the first branch was not as filial as the second branch. By then, Mrs. Zhu would definitely be biased towards the second branch. Mrs. Zhu continued to glare at Mulan angrily. "You're really something. Now my words as your mother-in-law don't have any effect, do they?" Mulan didn't give in at all. She said to Mrs. Zhu calmly, "Mother, you're right. I'll listen to you, but I'll make my own decisions on other matters. You don't have to interfere. Also, my sister is here. She's eating and drinking my food. I'm the one who earns it. So what if I'm happy? It's not like I'm spending the family Zhu's money." Mrs. Zhu was so angry that she couldn't catch her breath. Cough, cough. Madam Qi hurried forward and patted Mrs. Zhu's back twice. She complained to Mulan, "Second sister-in-law, you are really too much. How can you say that? Look, what if our mother gets sick from anger?" Mulan curled her lips coldly and said to Madam Qi, "Sister-in-law, what you're saying sounds like you're very filial. If I remember correctly, you ordered me around for a long time before, even throwing me to wash diapers and whatnot. Speaking of which, I'm still not as filial as you." Mulan emphasized the word filial. Of course, Madam Qi knew that Mulan was mocking her. She couldn't help but blush, and she glared at Mulan. This little B***tch was getting more and more eloquent. She didn't know what to say. After hearing Mulan's words, Mrs. Zhu also remembered what happened during that period of time. At that time, her eldest daughter-in-law bullied her very badly. Her son was also protecting his daughter-in-law, so she could only swallow her anger. What else could she do? When she thought of this, Mrs. Zhu angrily pushed Madam Qi's hand away. "You're such a hypocrite. If we're talking about being unfilial, then you're the unfilial one." Mrs. Zhu scolded. "Mother." Madam Qi looked at Mrs. Zhu with some resentment. "Really? It was all Mulan's fault. That B***tch. Chapter 800. Mrs. Zhu and Madam Qi were stunned by Mulan's ferocious look. They did not dare to criticize Mulan anymore. Zhao Yun watched from the side. She had planned to help Mulan when she could not handle it, but she did not expect that Mulan could handle it by herself. Zhao Yun looked at Mulan with a trace of appreciation in her eyes. Mulan was getting stronger and stronger now. Ordinary people could not bully her easily. However, Zhao Yun liked Mulan's change. If Zhao Yun was not stronger, she could not deal with those weirdos in the family Zhu. After Mrs. Zhu and Madame Chi stopped talking, Mulan asked Mu Hin to rest in the house for a while. During this period, her younger sister had been working hard. Everyone at home was worrying. The Mu family did not care for their daughters and let Mu Hin do a lot of work. Therefore, Mu Hin looked haggard and thin. Looking at her younger sister, Mulan could not help but feel sorry for her. She was at the prime of her life, but she had to go through all this, she sighed in her heart. It would be better in the future. With her by her side, she would take good care of her younger sister and would not let her suffer. Mu Hin nodded obediently and responded. She turned and went into Mulan's house. Looking at Mu Hin's thin figure, Mulan felt sorry for her again. After Mu Hin went in, Zhao Yun walked to Mulan and said to Mulan, "Sister-in-law Mulan, you're back so soon." Mulan nodded. There was a trace of sadness between her eyebrows. Zhao Yun sensed that something was wrong with Mulan and asked about the situation. Mulan did not hide anything and told Zhao Yun everything. After hearing this, Zhao Yun could not help but frown. What was going on? She was speechless. She had seen it for herself. She thought about how her cheap father, Zhao Wenhua, was much better than Mulan's father. As for Hu Chunhua, no matter how bad he was, he did not sell his granddaughter. Zhao Yun suddenly thought of a saying, a person is better than a mountain. There was always someone better. There was always someone better. There was always someone even weirder. However, Zhao Yun did not pay much attention to it. After listening to Mulan's words, Zhao Yun comforted her with a few words. She felt that Mulan was really pitiful. Her younger sister was even more so. "Yun, let's sit in the room and talk inside," Mulan pulled Zhao Yun and said. Zhao Yun nodded. It was indeed inconvenient to talk in family Zhu's courtyard. Okay. Zhao Yun responded. After entering, Mu Hin was sitting on a stool. When she saw Zhao Yun come in, she did not recognize Zhao Yun However, after Mulan introduced her, Mu Hin politely greeted Zhao Yun Sister Yun Seeing Mu Hin's timid expression, Zhao Yun also felt a trace of pity. Sigh, Yun I really don't have a choice. I can't watch Xin suffer. I have to give these 5 taels to my maternal family, but I can't take it out in such a short time. Can you lend me 2 taels? During this period of time, Mulan followed Zhao Yun and saved some money. However, the family's expenses were also high. A large portion of it was used to buy things. After all, food was very expensive these days. Their family's food was considered to be quite good. Mulan only had 3 taels. She still needed 2 taels to gather 5 taels. Chapter 801. Mulan was touched. She said to Zhao Yunner, thank you. Don't thank me. Your family needs to get through this difficult time first. Mulan nodded heavily. Yes, Yunner, I know. Okay, now focus on dealing with the next things. Don't think about anything else. Mulan nodded. There aren't any other problems now. We just have to focus on earning money. As long as we work hard and earn more money, we will definitely be able to live a good life. Zhao Yunner felt that Mulan was right. In this era, they would be able to live a good life if they worked hard and earned money. At this moment, Mu Hin said to Mulan, Sister, I will be a burden to you if I stay here and eat your food. How about this? Can you see where I can do some work? I will find a job. Xin, it's okay. Our family is not like before. It's not so hard. Our life will get better and better. You just rest at home these days. If you feel that you are freeloading, you can help me take care of the children or do some housework. Mulan said this to comfort her sister. She was afraid that she would feel guilty or uncomfortable. Sister, I will do it even if you don't say this. But if I don't do any work, you will be the only one supporting the family. Mu Hin's little face looked conflicted. Mulan sighed and comforted her. It's okay. We are sisters. You and I don't have to worry about these things. Just rest well. Mu Hin sighed slightly. Finally, she said to Mulan, but sister, I have to find a job in the future. She could more or less earn some money. When the time came, she could take care of her food and drink. It would be fine as long as she did not burden Mulan. When it came to her sister, she already had a place to stay. Her sister had already given her 5 taels of silver. If she didn't do anything, she would feel guilty. Zhao Yun could understand Mu Hin's mentality. In the end, this little girl was too thin-skinned and didn't want to trouble Mulan. Even though she knew that Mulan was her biological sister. Zhao Yun'er thought for a moment, then said to Mulan, Sister-in-law Mulan, how about this? Let your younger sister help out at our stall, and I'll pay her 500 copper coins a month. It just so happens that we need people at our stall. Mu Hin's eyes brightened when he heard that Zhao Yun could help and that he would be paid 500 copper coins a month. She asked Zhao Yun'er, Sister Yun'er, is that true? Zhao Yun'er nodded, but Mulan frowned and asked. But Yun'er, doesn't she have your sister Pinger to help? Is it really necessary to hire so many people? Mulan was afraid that Zhao Yun'er would deliberately ask Mu Hin to help out their family. Wouldn't that be giving Mu Hin 500 copper coins for free? Then Zhao Yun'er would earn less every month. Zhao Yun'er smiled and comforted her, Sister-in-law Mulan, I've fired my sister Pinger. She's really talkative. Even if your younger sister doesn't help, I'll probably find another person. Mulan only agreed after hearing Zhao Yun'er's words. Zhao Pinger was indeed talkative and liked to cause trouble. No wonder Zhao Yun'er didn't want Zhao Pinger to go over. This was also good. She didn't have to worry about being alone in front of her. Chapter 802. Zhao Yun responded. She did not believe that Mu Hin would not be able to do a good job. After all, Mu Hin had done a lot of work in the Mu family. How could she be worse than Zhao Pinger? As long as she was nimble and did a good job, it would be fine. Sister, can I really go and help? Mu Xian blinked her eyes with a little bit of expectation. I've already said that you can go. Of course, you can. Mu Xian's eyes were filled with joy, as if she was very excited. How could she not be happy when there was good news the moment she came over? Her goal now was to work hard together with Mulan and lead a better life. I'll definitely work hard. Mu Hin suppressed her excitement and said. Zhao Yun and Mulan chatted for a while before Zhu Eru returned from his work in the fields. He did not know what had happened at home. He did not expect Mulan to return so soon. He was stunned to see the 3 women as soon as he entered the house. Mu Hin hurriedly called out to Zhu Eru timidly, brother-in-law. Zhu Eru came back to his senses and smiled at Mu Hin. Little sister, you're here. Mu Hin responded bitterly. Eru. Mulan hesitated for a while and looked at Zhu Eru. She looked as if she had something to say to him. What's wrong? Zhu Eru asked gently. Eru. I have something to discuss with you. What is it? Just say it. Do you need to think and hesitate to tell me something? Eru, Xian might have to stay at our house. Upon hearing Mulan's words, Zhu Eru could not help but be curious about the reason. However, Mulan explained the reason after a while. When he heard what the Mu family had done, Zhu Eru was furious. How could they do this? Therefore, he said to Mulan, little sister can't go back like this. Let little sister stay in our house. As long as we have food to eat, she will definitely not be left out. Zhu Eru's words had undoubtedly reassured Mu Hin. Before he came, Mu Hin was still worried that his brother-in-law would not agree to it. Now, he did not have to worry anymore. Especially when Zhu Eru said these words with awe-inspiring righteousness, he couldn't help but feel moved. His sister's wife was so nice. If it were someone else, they probably wouldn't agree. It was her elder sister's fortune to be able to marry such a man. When Zhao Yun heard Zhu Eru's words, the corners of her mouth curled up. The image of Zhu Eru as a tough guy deepened in her heart. Now, there was no need to worry about the arrangement of Mulan. However, there was one thing that was more troublesome. It was that there was only one room in Mulan's house. If Mu Hin stayed, he could only squeeze in with Mulan's family. The house was already small to begin with. Now that there was one more person, it was very inconvenient. In addition, most importantly, Mu Hin was not a child. If Mulan and Zhu Eru were doing it at night, it would be fine if the children saw it. After all, the children did not understand this kind of thing. Mu Hin was already an adult and understood this kind of thing. If Mu Hin saw it, it would indeed be embarrassing. Zhao Yun knew that Mulan's current condition was not enough to build a house. It seemed that it would take a long time to save up some money. Chapter 803. Sister-in-law Mulan, why don't your family build a house with mine? Zhao Yun said. When Zhao Yun said this, Mulan was slightly stunned. Ah. I say, why don't you build a house first? That way, your family can be more convenient. Otherwise, it's too small for a big family to squeeze into a house. Zhao Yun said with a smile. In fact, Mulan was also worried about this problem. Now, she didn't have the money to build a house at all. If she could, she also wanted to build a house earlier, not waiting until now. Seeing Mulan's hesitation, Zhao Yun said, Sister-in-law Mulan, I can help you pay for the money first. I'll deduct it from the money we earn from our stall later. It just so happens that if your family builds a house with mine, you'll definitely save a little money. If my family uses something, your family can also use it. Mulan thought for a moment. She was a little tempted, but she also felt that she owed Zhao Yun too much. Yun you've helped me enough. If you continue to do this, looking at Mulan's hesitation, Zhao Yun couldn't help but laugh. Okay, sister-in-law Mulan, you don't have to be polite with me. You have to build a house sooner or later. Your house is only so big. Every day, your mother-in-law and sister-in-law will chase after you and talk about this and that. You don't feel annoyed, but I feel uncomfortable every time I come over. Then. Okay, Yun, AI, if it weren't for you, I don't know what I would do. Mulan sighed. Mulan wasn't unaware that her life was so good. Zhao Yun's contribution was too great. Otherwise, she would probably be separated. Now, she wouldn't even have food to eat, let alone build a house. Okay, don't be pretentious with me. I don't like this. It's almost time. I have to go back and cook. Zhao Yun got up and said goodbye. Mulan nodded and responded. She was ready to send Mulan out. Wait. Zhu Eru shouted. Zhao Yun looked back with some doubts. Zhu Eru said. Yun I caught some loaches from the field. Why don't you take some back? You can eat it at night. Zhu Eru thought that if Zhao Yun helped his family, he naturally should share some good things with Zhao Yun Otherwise, he would be too heartless. The loach was not bought with money. It was more or less a token of their family's sincerity to serve it as a dish. Loach was indeed a delicacy for Zhao Yun Zhao Yun did not refuse, but nodded in agreement. Thank you, Brother Eru. It's okay. Zhu Eru smiled and went out and gave half of the caught loach to Zhao Yun Zhao Yun carried the small basket and went back. As soon as she left the family Zhu's courtyard, she heard the voice of Mulan's sister-in-law, Madame Qi. She said to Zhu Eru, second brother, you actually brought back so many loaches. Why didn't you give them to me? I can cook them for your eldest brother, mother, and third brother. Madame Qi looked at Zhu Eru's loaches eagerly. She hadn't eaten delicious food for a long time. Although loaches weren't very good things, at least they had some meat flavor. Zhu Eru's mouth twitched. Seeing his sister-in-law's greedy look, he was a little annoyed. Even if their family had a little bit of good food, his sister-in-law would look at it eagerly. Chapter 804. Madam Qi was immediately unhappy. Second brother, you're really too much. Why didn't you give it to me the moment you brought it back? Instead, you gave it to someone else. In the end, you're still biased towards outsiders. You didn't think about me, your eldest brother, and your mother, did you? Madam Qi's sarcastic words made Zhu Eru feel very uncomfortable. If Madam Qi wasn't his sister-in-law, he wouldn't even bother to talk to her. Zhu Eru didn't want to say more, but Madam Qi continued to pursue Zhu Eru as if she was in the right. Second brother, second sister-in-law is biased towards outsiders. She's supporting her family for nothing. You're the same. Simply. Why don't you give something to your own family? It's an eye-opener for me. If I didn't know, you and second sister-in-law's brains would be damaged. Zhu Eru really couldn't stand Madam Qi's words and replied. Eldest sister-in-law, have you said that? If you've said enough, then shut up. My wife's younger sister came to our family's business. She doesn't eat or drink your food. What right do you have to say that? Also, Yun, helped our family and helped Lan, earn money. Isn't it right for me to give her some loaches? These things are just a drop in the bucket compared to what she gave us. After Zhu Eru finished speaking, Madam Qi opened her mouth but didn't know what to say to refute. Zhu Eru snorted softly and turned to go into the house. Madam Qi pursed her lips and was a little unwilling. At this time, Zhu Dainiu walked out. Madam Qi said to Zhu Dainiu, Dainiu, look. Second brother caught a lot of loaches. If you're free, you can go to the field and catch some loaches. It doesn't cost any money anyway. It's just a little work. I'll cook them for you to eat with wine. Zhu Dainiu glanced at Madam Qi and snorted softly. Forget it. It's troublesome to catch those things and they get mud all over. Besides, your cooking skills aren't very good. It doesn't taste good. It's better to eat vegetables. When Madam Qi heard Zhu Dainiu casually find an excuse to reject her, she couldn't help but be a little angry. Dainiu, even if you don't want to eat, I want to eat. Second brother has already dried it, why can't you? Madam Qi said coquettishly. If she was a beautiful woman, it would be fine, but the problem was that Madam Qi was ugly. When she acted coquettishly, it made people feel disgusted. Zhu Dainiu frowned unhappily. You're such a bitch. Don't you feel sorry for your man? Do you think it's easy to catch a loach? Dainiu, so annoying. All you know is to eat every day. No wonder there's so much feces and urine. Zhu Dainiu's eyes revealed a trace of impatience and disdain. Madam Qi quickly shut her mouth. She knew that if she continued to speak, Zhu Dainiu would definitely get angry. She sighed in her heart. If it were another man, he would definitely go to the fields to catch her. But Zhu Dainiu wasn't like this in the past, but now, Madam Qi felt a little stifled when she thought about it. It was just that after she and Zhu Dainiu finished eating feces, Zhu Dainiu's attitude changed a lot. Madam Qi thought in her heart, Zhu Dainiu couldn't have had a change of heart, right? If he hadn't, how could he be like this? Zhu Dainiu turned around and was about to go back in a huff. Suddenly, he saw a girl coming out of the second branch's house. She was thin, but her face was beautiful. However, her thin and weak appearance made people feel pity for her and especially wanted to protect her. Chapter 805. The girl that Zhu Dainiu saw was Mu Hin. After this strange feeling arose in his heart, his gaze could not help but linger on this girl for a while. Mu Hin looked up and realized that Zhu Dainiu's gaze was on her. She glanced at Zhu Dainiu timidly and hurried into the kitchen to help Mulan cook. Elder sister, let me help you. Mu-hin said to Mulan. Now that she was here with her elder sister, she naturally had to lend a hand wherever she could. Her elder sister had to do so much work alone to take care of the whole family. It was already very tiring. Mulan did not refuse and nodded. Yes, yes. Come, let's eat together and have a chat. Yes, okay. Zhu Dainiu heard the girl's clear and melodious voice. Zhu Dainiu's heart fluttered for a moment. This voice was really nice, much nicer than his wife's voice. This girl was good-looking, had a pleasant voice, and looked very gentle and considerate. As long as one was a man, he would probably prefer this type of girl. Zhu Dainiu stroked his chin and followed her into the kitchen. Second sister-in-law, is this your younger sister? Zhu Dainiu asked with a smile. He did not mean any harm. Mulan nodded and replied, yes, big brother. Ah, I really couldn't tell. When she came to our house in the past, she was just a little girl. Now she has grown up to be quite beautiful, Zhu Dainiu said with a smile. She could not help but glance at Mu-hin and size up Mu-hin. Mulan responded. This younger sister of hers had come to her house a few years ago. At that time, Hua had just been born. It had been 6 or 7 years. At that time, her younger sister was indeed a little girl. Haha, that's good, that's good. Second sister-in-law, treat her well. Since you're here, you're a guest, Zhu Dainiu greeted him with a smile. Mulan nodded. She felt that Zhu Dainiu's attitude was different from the others in family Zhu. He breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. He originally thought that Zhu Dainiu was here to pick a bone, but he didn't expect that to be the case. After Zhu Dainiu finished speaking, he did not leave immediately. Instead, he stayed in the kitchen and glanced at Mu-hin from time to time. Looking at Mu-hin's busy figure, Zhu Dainiu could not help but sigh in his heart. This young, gentle, and diligent girl was so much better than his wife. Mu-hin felt uncomfortable being stared at by Zhu Dainiu, but he couldn't say anything. Mulan noticed that something was wrong with Zhu Dainiu, so she asked Zhu Dainiu, what's wrong, big brother? What are you doing in the kitchen? It's so smoky. You should leave. Since Mulan said that, Zhu Dainiu felt embarrassed to stay any longer. The corners of his mouth twitched. He laughed and said, all right then. I'll go out. You guys do your work. Second sister-in-law, since your younger sister is here, you should treat her well. Got it, big brother, Mulan said. Zhu Dainiu reluctantly withdrew his gaze and pulled himself out of the kitchen. After Zhu Dainiu left, Mu-hin timidly whispered in Mulan's ear, sister, why do I feel that your big brother is a little strange? Mulan frowned. Is that so? Mu-hin nodded. Yes, I just feel that something is wrong. Why? What's wrong? Chapter 806. This different kind of enthusiasm made her feel a little flustered. Although there was nothing wrong with it, she still felt uncomfortable. Especially when Zhu Dainiu looked at him as if he was looking at prey. Mulan comforted her. Xin, isn't it better for big brother to be like this than for me and your mother-in-law? Mu-hin nodded. That's true, Zhu Dainiu looked at her. Although it made her feel uncomfortable, it was much better than Mrs. Zhu and Madame Qi's harsh words. Alright, Xin, don't think too much. They're just saying it. It doesn't really matter. Stay here with me. When my new house is built, we'll move out. Mu-hin nodded with a hint of anticipation. Mulan sighed and said, but you can't stay at my house forever. You'll have to get married when you're of age. Xin, I'm not chasing you away. If you meet a good man, you can marry him. If not, you can stay here with me. At most, I'll take care of you for the rest of your life. Mu-hin nodded. That was what she thought too. She wasn't young anymore. Other people at her age were already married. If she met a good man, there was no harm in marrying him. After all, she didn't want to stay at her sister's house and become a burden to her sister. Okay, sister. If there are any good men, help me keep an eye out for them. I'll listen to you, Muhin said. Looking at such an obedient sister, Mulan felt gratified and sad at the same time. She would naturally arrange Muhin's marriage well. When the family's life got better, she would try her best to get some dowry for Muhin. When the time came, she would be able to let her sister get married in a grand manner. It would definitely not be worse than the Mu families. On the other hand, Zhao Yun went back with the loach and started to prepare dinner. Unfortunately, although the loach was delicious, it was more troublesome to kill. He had to kill all of the loaches one by one. Then, his hands would definitely be stained with blood and a fishy smell. When Zhao Yun'er was about to squat down to deal with the loaches, Mu Yanfeng came out of the house and said to Zhao Yun'er, "Yun'er, let me do it. I'll help you. Can you do it?" Zhao Yun'er looked at Mu Yanfeng suspiciously. It was not that he did not trust Mu Yanfeng, but Mu Yanfeng was good at other jobs, but he had never done this kind of work before, so he might not know how to do it. Mu Yanfeng smiled confidently and said, "Yun'er, of course I can do it. I've seen your father do it before." Zhao Yun'er laughed involuntarily. "So you've only seen it before, but you haven't done it yourself. Why are you so confident that you can do it well?" Mu Yanfeng smiled and said, "Why wouldn't I be confident? Yun'er, trust me. I can definitely do it well." Looking at Mu Yanfeng's spirited eyes, Zhao Yun'er was dazed for a moment. This man was so damn handsome when he was so confident, wasn't he? Zhao Yun'er was dazed for a moment before she reacted. The corners of her mouth curled up into a smile as she said to Mu Yanfeng, "All right then, you do it." Mu Yanfeng said as he took the basket and poured out the loaches. He took a knife and cut them one by one. The blood on the loaches splashed onto Mu Yanfeng's body. "Ah!" Zhao Yun'er exclaimed and quickly said, "No, your clothes are stained with blood. It's dirty." Chapter 807. Mu Yanfeng glanced at her and said nonchalantly, "It's fine, Yun'er." Zhao Yun'er rolled her eyes and stared at Mu Yanfeng. "How can it be fine? Don't you know that the blood is very fishy and difficult to wash off?" "Yun'er, I don't want these clothes anymore. I'll change into a new one." Zhao Yun'er's mouth twitched and she felt her heart ache. This guy, he was too extravagant. He was simply a prodigal son. His clothes were made of such luxurious material. Zhao Yun'er estimated that it would cost at least a few dozen taels of silver. Even if it didn't cost that much, it would cost at least a few dozen taels of silver. He actually didn't care about such an expensive item. Of course, someone of Mu Yanfeng's status wouldn't care. After all, he was rich and the heir presumptive's residence didn't have many good things. A few dozen taels of silver was probably nothing to him. Mu Yanfeng didn't care about it, but to Zhao Yun'er, it was a huge sum. Zhao Yun'er looked at Mu Yanfeng bitterly. Mu Yanfeng's heart tightened and he said, "Mu Yanfeng, if you continue like this, I'm afraid I won't be able to support you." Mu Yanfeng's hands paused and he said to Zhao Yun'er, "It's fine. I'll support you. What if you leave the heir presumptive's residence? I won't be able to support you like this." Mu Yanfeng's eyes turned and he pondered for a moment. Finally, he said, "If that's the case, Yun'er, I can go out and find work. With my talent and ability, even if I leave the heir presumptive's residence, I'm sure I can get a good job. Don't worry, I can support you and Daodu. I won't be a burden to you." Zhao Yun'er chuckled. Although Mu Yanfeng was a little narcissistic, he had the capital to be narcissistic. Mu Yanfeng had extraordinary abilities and was brimming with talent. In this era, cultured people had their own things to do. If he really left the crown prince's residence, he could easily pass the imperial examinations and pass the imperial examinations. "You'd better get up. I'll help you rub the blood off your body. I should be able to get it off after washing it off." Zhao Yun'er greeted. Yuner, let me do it. I don't want to dirty your clothes, Mu Yanfeng insisted. Zhao Yuner muttered in her heart. How could the tattered clothes on her be more expensive than Mu Yanfeng's clothes? You can come, but you have to cover yourself with something to prevent your clothes from getting dirty again. Mu Yanfeng didn't refuse. He nodded and said, okay, Yuner. Okay. Zhao Yuner went into the room and put on the apron she made on Mu Yanfeng. After Mu Yanfeng put on the apron, Zhao Yuner couldn't help but stare at Mu Yanfeng's body. It looked a little small and was tied to Mu Yanfeng's body. It looked very funny. Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yuner in confusion and said, Yuner, what's wrong? Can't I wear it? How could Zhao Yuner say no? If she said yes, this guy would definitely take off the apron. When that happened, the blood of the loach would splash on his clothes and the clothes would probably be ruined. Zhao Yuner was distressed about the money, so she could only nod. It's just a little tight. I'm afraid you'll feel uncomfortable wearing it. Mu Yanfeng smiled and said, it's okay. It's not uncomfortable. That's good. Then hurry up and get rid of the loach. I'll go and cook. Chapter 808. Zhao Yuner glanced at Mu Yanfeng with mixed feelings. This guy had really found his conscience and treated his subordinates a little better. Actually, Zhao Yuner felt that Mo Yan could come over to eat every day since he was working so diligently for Mu Yanfeng. She was cooking anyway, so she did not mind cooking a little more. The conditions on the mountain were far too poor. What could they eat if everyone ate together? Mo Yan was also a tall man, so he naturally had a better appetite. Mo Yan had not eaten well in the past few days because he lived on the mountain. His nutrition could not keep up, so he had lost quite a lot of weight. Mu Yanfeng did not care about this. He had only invited Mo Yan over this time because he was poisoned. Mo Yan had accompanied Zhao Yuner to get the antidote for him. Otherwise, he definitely would have died already. This meal was a reward for Mo Yan. After all, Mu Yanfeng could not think of anything else to reward Mo Yan with. Gold, silver, and jewels were far too tacky. What Mo Yan needed the most right now was a few good meals. If Mo Yan knew what Mu Yanfeng was thinking, he would definitely feel that his master did not understand him at all. Actually, he did not find gold, silver, and jewels to be tacky at all. Instead, he needed these things very much. After all, he was poor and had not gotten married yet. Once he got married, he would have to spend a large sum of money. Originally, he wanted to show off in front of his master and wait for him to raise his salary, but in the end, what's wrong? Mu Yanfeng saw Zhao Yuner become stunned and thought that Zhao Yuner was unhappy. Zhao Yuner shook her head, alright, I got it. Don't worry, I'll definitely make a few more dishes. Alright. Mu Yanfeng nodded. Before long, Mo Yan saw that it was almost time for dinner, so he came over early. This was because he knew that if he came late, Mu Yanfeng would definitely not call him over, nor would he wait for him to eat with him. By then, he would probably only be eating leftovers. Mu Yanfeng suddenly asked him to eat. Mo Yan was a little nervous. He knew Mu Yanfeng too well. Mu Yanfeng would never ask him to eat so easily. He didn't know if she had an ulterior motive or if she really felt sorry for him. Mo Yan did not have the time to think too much about it. She really was hungry. Since Mu Yanfeng had called her over, Mo Yan happily agreed. At this time, they came over and eagerly looked forward to the meal. He knew about Zhao Yuner's culinary skills. The taste was indescribable. It was even more delicious than the food in the restaurant. Mo Yan could not help but gulp down a few mouthfuls of saliva when she thought about the taste of the food. Only when he arrived before Zhao Yuner's home did he discover that Mo Yan was wearing something and was currently killing loaches on the ground. Mo Yan's heart tightened when she saw Mu Yanfeng like this. Is master crazy? He actually made it look like a woman, no matter how he looked at it, it felt strange. He is the noble heir. How can he be like this? However, Mu Yanfeng acted like nothing had happened. He was extremely calm. Mu Yanfeng sensed someone approaching. He raised his head and met Mo Yan's eyes. Mu Yanfeng raised an eyebrow and asked Mo Yan, "Why didn't you tell me you were coming over? What are you planning to do?" Chapter 809. Master, didn't I just get here? Mo Yan said. Ha! Mu Yanfeng snorted softly, which made Mo Yan's hair stand on end. Mo Yan didn't know what Mu Yanfeng meant. Did he not believe what she said? Mo Yan, you lied, Mu Yanfeng said to Mo Yan indifferently as he played with the loach in his hand. Mo Yan felt her heart grow colder. She thought to herself, I'm done for. I'm not lying, right? The problem is that my master won't believe me. If my master interrogated me, I don't even know what to say. Mo Yan didn't say anything and stood to the side nervously. Mu Yanfeng said indifferently, just what was he thinking about? Why was he so lost in thought? Mo Yan, can you tell me? Mo Yan became more and more nervous. She felt like she was about to break out in a cold sweat. She knew that if she didn't give a reasonable explanation and didn't tell Mu Yanfeng the reason, her master would have plenty of ways to torture her. Falling into Mu Yanfeng's hands was definitely a very tragic thing. Mo Yan swallowed a few mouthfuls of saliva and finally said, Master. Actually, I wasn't thinking about anything else, but, Mo Yan hesitated for a moment and didn't dare to say it. But what? Master, if I say it, you have to promise me first that you won't skin me alive. Mu Yanfeng raised the corner of his mouth and said, Say it. Mo Yan hesitated for a while and said timidly, Master, whose clothes are you wearing? You look like a woman, Mo Yan grumbled. Thinking about it, her master was the dignified heir of a noble clan. Why did he seem more and more like a sissy now? With that, Mu Yanfeng's face immediately turned cold. He suppressed his emotions and asked, Really? Yes, master. Why don't you take it off? If other people see it, they might laugh at you. Don't ruin your reputation. Mu Yanfeng's cold voice sounded again. Mo Yan's but clenched in fright. Whenever her master acted like this, it meant that disaster was about to befall someone else. Mo Yan knew that Mu Yanfeng was probably angry. Why was he so tragic? All he did was speak the truth. Did it have to be like this? He had kindly reminded him, but in the end, this was the result. If he had known earlier, he would have just made up a random excuse. After finishing the last loach, Mu Yanfeng looked at Mo Yan coldly. His gaze seemed like he wanted to eat her. Mo Yan felt a cold breath on her neck. She said to Mu Yanfeng nervously, Moss. Master, you said that you won't skin me alive. You can't go back on your words. The corner of Mu Yanfeng's mouth curled up slightly as he said to Mo Yan, I will naturally do what I've promised. However, if I don't skin you alive, I have other ways to torture you. After Mu Yanfeng said that, a scheming look flashed through his eyes. Mo Yan was petrified on the spot. How could he do this? Sob. Her master was too hateful. Wasn't he shameless in disguise? Chapter 810. Mo Yan looked at Mu Yanfeng nervously. She wanted to know just how Mu Yanfeng was torturing her. After waiting for a while, she realized that Mu Yanfeng was saying leisurely, Actually, it won't hurt you at all. You just have to wear my clothes and walk a few more rounds on the mountain. That'll be fine. Mo Yan was deeply hurt when she heard that. Her master was just too heartless. He wasn't lying. Her body wouldn't be harmed at all, but what about her mind? That would be very severe. It would be far more painful than her mind. Mo Yan could already imagine that if she walked around the mountain a few more times while wearing the clothes, the miners would laugh at her. Mo Yan's face became bitter when she thought of that. She looked at Mu Yanfeng with some despair and said, Master. Actually, I'm willing to be skinned alive by you. Your punishment is just too severe. I can't bear it. Master, if you want to punish me, can you do it in another way? I really can't do that. Mo Yen frowned and begged. She hoped that Mu Yanfeng would relent if she said it. Unfortunately, Mu Yanfeng had no intention of relenting at all. Instead, he said coldly to Mo Yen, "What? Since when did you start bargaining with me?" Mo Yen knew that she had to do this when she saw her master suddenly become stern. "All right, master," Gu Ning said. Mo Yen swallowed the words she wanted to say in the end. Sigh, she could only sigh at her bad luck. What else could she do? Zhao Yun heard everything Mu Yanfeng said in the kitchen. She sympathized with Mo Yen very much. It seemed like Mu Yanfeng didn't treat anyone well apart from her and Daodu. Even his own subordinates bullied him so badly. Zhao Yun came out of the kitchen and said to Mu Yanfeng, "Is the loach ready?" Only then did Mu Yanfeng shift his attention. He said to Zhao Yun, "It's done. Just wash it with water." "Okay." Zhao Yun said. She went into the kitchen and brought out a lot of water to wash the loach. "Wash your hands with the honey locust to avoid the fishy smell." "Okay." Mu Yanfeng answered obediently. Mo Yen stood to the side and watched. She couldn't help but sigh inside. His master was like a good daughter-in-law in front of Zhao Yun. How could she treat him like this? What was wrong with him? Zhao Yun sensed Mo Yan's aggrieved gaze, so she said to Mo Yen, "We'll have to wait a while for dinner. I'm cooking. Go sit in the room and rest for a while. There's tea inside, so pour some for yourself. It's quite tiring to stand here. You're already working hard enough." After Zhao Yun said that, Mo Yen felt a sliver of warmth in her heart. Her mistress was still the best. She knew how to care for her. She wasn't like her master, who didn't have any humanity. "Okay, mistress." Mo Yen nodded and went into Zhao Yun's room. Before Zhao Yun went in to cook, she told Mu Yanfeng to take off his apron. Come to think of it, she was the one who had harmed Mo Yen. Otherwise, Mo Yen wouldn't have been tortured by Mu Yanfeng. Chapter 8:11. Although the food he made wasn't some exotic delicacy, it tasted delicious. The dishes were so fragrant that Mo Yen could not help but drool before she tasted them. Zhao Yun told Mo Yen to eat when she saw how envious Mo Yen was. Before Mo Yen died, she had to have a good meal at the very least so that she could die with a full stomach. After the meal, Zhao Yun took out a toothpick and helped Mo Yen and Mu Yanfeng pick their teeth. They had eaten far too much meat, so it was unavoidable for them to get meat on their teeth. It was impossible to remove it by hand. As for the toothpick, Zhao Yun made it herself. The villagers did not seem to use them. This was because the villagers were extremely poor in the first place. They only had a few meals of meat each year, so they did not use them at all. Even if they got meat on their teeth, they would not remove it. After Mo Yen received it, she said to Zhao Yun, "Thank you, madam." Zhao Yun shook her head, "You're welcome." Mu Yanfeng took it as well. Just when the two of them were about to pick their teeth, they discovered that Zhao Yun was staring at them. Mu Yanfeng asked curiously, "Yun, is there something else you want from us?" Zhao Yun shook her head, "It's actually nothing. I just want to see if you two pretty men look good when you pick your teeth." Mo Yen and Mu Yanfeng became speechless when they heard what Zhao Yun had said. Mo Yen was nervous because Zhao Yun had directly praised her as a pretty man in front of Mu Yanfeng. How could that be? With her master's jealous personality, Mu Yanfeng would probably be extremely displeased when Zhao Yun praised him. Fortunately, Mo Yen was overthinking things this time. Mu Yanfeng had not thought of that. "Yun, what's there to look at?" "Of course." "Then, forget it, I'll go rinse my mouth." Mu Yanfeng suddenly felt uncomfortable and said to Zhao Yun, Mo Yen added in a hurry, I'll rinse my mouth as well. Hey, why are you guys like this? Zhao Yuner suddenly felt a little disappointed. Madam, your way of thinking is a little special. Normal people can't satisfy you. Eh. Zhao Yuner rolled her eyes and looked at the master and servant. Could it be that her actions had frightened them? Since that was the case, then forget it. Actually, she didn't have that many special hobbies. She was just curious. Then you guys chat, I'll go wash the dishes. Zhao Yunhe said. After eating her fill, Mo Yen began to report to Mu Yen. Master, a lot of iron has been smelted. Can we rush out the first batch of weapons? His Majesty is already urging us. The war could start at any time. We have to hurry. Mu Yanfeng nodded, I'll leave the matter of the weapons to you. The weapons have to be of good quality. Keep a close eye on them and don't let anything go wrong. When it came to serious matters, the master and servant were much more normal. In particular, Mu Yanfeng did not make things difficult for Mo Yen. Oh right, master, I've done what you asked me to do last time. The reason why the Red Jade Mountain Villa attacked you was because of the Prime Minister. Back then, the Prime Minister saved the Villa Lord's life, so the Red Jade Mountain Villa owed him a favor. This time, the Prime Minister asked the Red Jade Mountain Villa to help, so they obviously didn't refuse. Speaking of which, you can't blame the Red Jade Mountain Villa too much. Chapter 8:12. Was he so eager to take his life? Mu Yanfeng did not care about himself. So what if he died? However, Daodu and Zhao Yun, Mu Yanfeng did not want the two of them to come to any harm. Fortunately, he had used the excuse of mining to come here, otherwise, he would have been discovered if he had stayed in Zhao Yun's home for so long. Although Zhao Yun was not in any danger right now, he would be discovered if he continued to stay here. Arrange for a few hidden guards to protect the madam and the young master, Mu Yanfeng ordered. Yes, sir. Mo Yen nodded heavily. She had been prepared to make this suggestion to Mu Yanfeng. Mo Yen still felt lingering fear when she thought about what had happened before. What would she do if it happened again? The two of them chatted for a while before Mo Yen left. They went to bed early in the night. After doing so much work every day, Mu Yanfeng felt extremely exhausted. He would doze off very hard at night. However, Mu Yanfeng was unable to sleep because he was busy. Instead, he lit a lamp and began to write and draw under the lamp. Daodu lay on the table and accompanied Mu Yanfeng for a while. During this period of time, Daodu would learn from Mu Yanfeng whenever he had the time, so he was able to recognize quite a few words. He could even memorize the 1,000-character classic, the 100 surnames, and many poems. Although Daodu was young, he had an extremely good memory. He only needed to recite a few sentences to remember many things. He was rather similar to Mu Yanfeng in this aspect. Mu Yanfeng felt a sliver of warmth when he saw how smart his son was. The best thing he had ever created in his life was probably Daodu. If it were not for what happened in the past, there would not have been such a cute little bun. Daodu seemed to sense that someone was looking at him, so he raised his head and met Mu Yanfeng's gentle eyes. Daodu raised his head and smiled sweetly at Mu Yanfeng. Daddy, what's wrong? Nothing. Daddy wants to see what you've written, Mu Yanfeng smiled. Daodu did not hold back when he heard Mu Yanfeng's words. Instead, he took out his work and showed it to Mu Yanfeng. Daddy, take a look. What do you think of Daodu's writing? Mu Yanfeng took a look. Daodu was only 3 years old. He had not learned how to write. But his writing was extremely neat. From the looks of it, if he were to practice properly, his calligraphy would probably be very good in the future. Daddy, Mu Yanfeng's twos, Daddy, Daddy's to twos, Daddy's twos to a to twos. Children naturally wanted to be praised by their parents, and Daodu was no exception. Mu Yanfeng was not stingy with his praise. He said to Daodu, Daodu is great. You're doing very well. Dowdu grinned happily, yes, yes. Dowdu will work harder. Good boy, don't worry. You're still young. You don't have to work so hard. Go to sleep first. Mu Lianfeng noticed that Dowdu was yawning from time to time, so he advised him. Dowdu responded obediently, okay, Daddy. Then Daddy needs to sleep early. Mu Lianfeng's lips curled into a warm smile, I know. Daddy will sleep when he's done. Then Daddy, Dowdu will go to sleep. Go. Dowdu climbed onto the bed and lay down next to Zhao Yun. Not long after, Dowdu fell asleep. Chapter 8:13. He would risk his life to protect these two people, and he would never let them get hurt. Mu Lianfeng looked at Dowdu and Zhao Yun's faces, and for a moment, he was a little dazed. He couldn't help but get up and walk to the two of them. He first touched Dowdu's smooth little face, then bent down and gently kissed Zhao Yun's face. He originally thought that Zhao Yun was asleep, and his movements were very light, so Zhao Yun shouldn't have noticed. But before he could move away, Zhao Yun suddenly opened her eyes, and the two of them looked at each other. Mu Lianfeng suddenly felt nervous and embarrassed. Zhao Yun asked, Mu Lianfeng, what are you doing? Mu Lianfeng stuttered, you kissed me when I was sleeping. Zhao Yun asked again, and stared at Mu Lianfeng with her beautiful eyes, with a flirtatious smile on the corner of her mouth. Mu Lianfeng didn't know how to explain it. Zhao Yun made it sound like he was a hypocrite who took advantage of someone's unpreparedness. Mu Lianfeng was frowning and feeling a little embarrassed when he suddenly felt a soft touch on his lips. His heart couldn't help but tremble. Mu Lianfeng was suddenly stunned. Was he dreaming? After the warmth on his lips stayed for a few seconds, Mu Lianfeng met Zhao Yun's smiling eyes. Actually, if you want to kiss me, as a man, you should naturally be open. I'm not saying that you're not allowed. You're acting like you're secretly doing something bad. After Zhao Yun finished speaking, Mu Lianfeng's cheeks were dyed with an imperceptible blush. Mu Lianfeng felt a ball of fire rising in his heart. Looking at Zhao Yun's delicate little face, Mu Lianfeng grabbed Zhao Yun's head, and tossed and turned on Zhao Yun's head. Zhao Yun's head went blank for a moment. This guy was really obedient. Was it because her words were too provocative that this guy couldn't control himself and pounced on her like a wolf? Zhao Yun couldn't break free, and could only passively endure. Fortunately, Dowdu was by her side. It was inconvenient on such a small bed, otherwise, Zhao Yun felt that Mu Lianfeng might go one step further. After a long while, Mu Lianfeng finally let go of Zhao Yun. He pecked Zhao Yun's forehead lightly, and said to Zhao Yun in a gentle tone as if he was coaxing a child, Yun, hurry up and sleep. He knew that Zhao Yun did so much work every day and was exhausted. Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows and asked, Mu Lianfeng, aren't you going to sleep? I still need to wait a while. You go to sleep first. Although Zhao Yun felt a little sorry for Mu Lianfeng, she didn't say much. She knew that he had his own things to do. Zhao Yun obediently went to sleep first, hoping that Mu Lianfeng could finish his work early and rest early. The next morning, Zhao Yun woke up early. When she went to Yang City, Zhao Ping followed her. Zhao Yun frowned unhappily. There was a trace of disgust when she saw Zhao Ping. She said to Zhao Ping in a displeased tone, what are you doing here? I'm going to the shop to help. Zhao Ping raised her chin and said. Zhao Yun frowned and stared at Zhao Ping unhappily. I said that you don't have to help at the shop. Of course, if you insist on following me, it's fine. You can walk there yourself. Don't sit on my xiaomao. Also, I won't pay you. Chapter 8:14. Zhao Yun snorted. Are you deaf or do you have a problem with your intelligence? Didn't I make it clear enough yesterday? Zhao Yun, you've gone too far. Zhao Ping, I've tolerated you for a long time. You'd better not offend me. Otherwise, I won't lend you the dowry after you get married to my mother, so I won't lend it to you either. You won't be able to get married, and you'll become a joke in the village. Zhao said that to scare Zhao Ping, Zhao Yun, didn't want to let such a troublemaker stay at home to disgust her. Hearing that, Zhao Ping, immediately became obedient. Indeed, this was what Zhao Ping, was most afraid of. It wasn't easy for her to find a suitable man to marry. If he didn't work this time, she wouldn't be able to find a man as handsome as the one in Qin Yuan next time. Zhao Ping, was disappointed at once. She looked at Zhao Yun, with sadness in her eyes. Zhao Yun, was too much. How could she treat her like this? Seeing that Zhao Ping, stopped complaining, Zhao Yun, smiled. It seemed that this method worked well on Zhao Ping, Why didn't she think of using this method to scare Zhao Ping before? At this time, Mulan and Mu Hin walked over. Zhao Yun called them to get in the car, and they drove leisurely to Yang City. When they arrived at Yang City, the stall was set up. Zhao Yun, observed Mu Hin for a while. She was very smart and efficient when working. She was much better than Zhao Ping, who was stupid. Mulan also watched Mu Hin work nervously. If Mu Hin didn't do a good job, he wouldn't be able to keep her. However, when he saw that Mu Xian was working very efficiently, he let out a sigh of relief. Liang Jinxiao was curious about Mu Hin, so he kept asking Mulan. Mulan then told Liang Jinxiao about her younger sister. After hearing what Mulan said, Liang Jinxiao sympathized with Mu Hin. This little girl was good in every way, but she was too pitiful. Precisely because of this, Liang Jinxiao felt pity for Mu Hin. Ah, she's a good child. It's good that she's helping out at our stall. We just happen to be short of a helper, Liang Jinxiao said. Since Xin is here to help, I'll definitely let her do a good job, Mulan said. Very good. This girl is diligent and clever. She's very good. Ha, thank you for the compliment, Auntie. This child is not bad. I didn't mean to praise her, Liang Jinxiao said with a smile. Mula was also very happy that her younger sister was recognized by others. Liang Jinxiao talked to Mulan for a while. If he hadn't talked to Su Yukai, Liang Jinxiao would think that Zhao Tianan and Mu Hin would be a good couple. The two children were about the same age. Mu Hin was so sensible, obedient, diligent, and beautiful. If he married her, it would be his family's blessing. Mulan was a good person. Naturally, this younger sister wouldn't be too bad. Liang Jinxiao planned to introduce Mu Hin to Zhao Tianan if the talk with the Su family didn't work out. As Mulan said, he wanted to introduce Mu Hin to a good family. Although the third branch of the family wasn't very rich, at least after Mu Hin married into the family, they would treat Mu Hin well and wouldn't let Mu Hin suffer. Chapter 8:15. Based on Zhao Tianan's attitude towards Ma Xiaofeng, Liang Jinxiao knew that if they really got married, Zhao Tianan would definitely treat his wife 100% well. Thinking like this, Liang Jinxiao would have to wait and plan for the specifics later. She had already contacted the people from the Su family and arranged for the two children to meet in the next few days. Under normal circumstances, the man and woman would not meet easily. This time, the situation was special. If she did not let Zhao Tianan see and interact with them, Zhao Tianan would definitely object from the beginning. After finishing the matters at the stall, the few of them quickly returned to the village. Today, because Zhao Wenhua asked people to come over to cut trees, Zhao Yun bought some more vegetables from Yang City to bring back. She bought some pig offal, some meat, and some fish. There was still some marinated tiger meat left at home, so she could take it out to entertain them. There was a lot of tiger meat left, but Zhao Yun did not eat much on normal days. It was better to use such precious things to entertain people. There were vegetables in their vegetable garden, so there was no need to buy them. On the way, Mulan and Xiao Yun discussed the matter of building a house. Mulan was not like Xiao Yun's family, who wanted to build a big house. Their family planned to build 3 or 4 houses. Even if 3 or 4 houses were to be built with bricks and tiles, they should be able to build a house with more than 10 taels of silver if they were frugal. Thinking about it, if they were to build a new house, their family would naturally be much more comfortable after moving out from family Zhu to live in a new house. Where to build the house? Mulan wanted to build it together with Xiao Yun's family. Therefore, this piece of land was chosen together with Xiao Yun. It just so happened that that piece of land was cheap. In the future, it would be more convenient for them to visit Xiao Yun, when they were neighbors. As for the land that Mulan mentioned, Xiao Yun felt that it was a good idea. If Mulan's house was not built together with hers, her house would be left alone at the foot of the mountain. Mulan would go and live with them. Not only would it be more lively, but they could also take care of each other on normal days. If something were to happen, they would at least be able to call for help. When the car arrived at old Zhao's house, Liang Jinxiao and Xiao Yun'er got out of the car and found that a carriage was parked in front of old Zhao's yard. It seemed like someone was coming. Xiao Yun'er and Liang Jinxiao were curious. Normally, old Zhao's family didn't come into contact with any big shots. Xiao Yun'er and Liang Jinxiao entered the courtyard and found that old Zhao's family members were surrounding a man and asking questions. This man was wearing dark red clothes and looked very luxurious. When Xiao Yun'er saw this, she felt that this man's clothes were a little flirtatious. For a man to wear this kind of clothes, she felt that something was wrong. This man was about 25 or 26 years old. He had a square face and was not good-looking. His behavior gave people the impression that he was a rich second-generation heir from a good family. Of course, this was only for the people in the countryside. In Yang City, there were more people with such conditions. When this man came over, the most attentive person was Li Chuiying. He kept talking in front of him and asked about his well-being, for fear that he would neglect him. Xiao Jing'er, on the other hand, stood to the side with her head lowered, looking shy. Seeing this, Xiao Yun'er guessed. This man was probably the man that matchmaker Gao had found for Xiao Jing'er. He looked so rich. No wonder old Zhao's family members were so enthusiastic. Chapter 8:16. Xiao Yun'er couldn't help but shake her head. In terms of appearance and other things, without considering money, this man really didn't deserve Xiao Jing'er. Anyway, Xiao Jing'er was as pretty as a flower and as beautiful as jade, but this man was not only not good-looking, but also older than Xiao Jing'er by at least 7 years. With such a big age gap, could the two of them really get along? Old Xiao's family and Xiao Yun'er didn't care about these things. As long as the man was rich and could live a good life, everything was fine. They wouldn't consider anything else at all. Xiao Yun'er carried her things and walked into old Zhao's yard. She didn't hear what they were talking about until she got closer. Xiao Yun'er felt that a mouthful of blood was stuck in her chest, and she almost spat it out. The man's name was Jing Qian. Jing Qian said, "Uncle, Aunt, there's something I need to make clear to you. If I marry Jing, she won't be my legal wife, but a concubine." Hearing Jing Qian's words, old Zhao's family was struck dumb. They didn't know what Jing Qian meant. Even Xiao Jing'er stared at Jing Qian in shock. She thought she had married into a good family, but how could she be a concubine? Old Zhao's family wasn't stupid. A concubine was a concubine, and it wouldn't be good for their reputation. Ordinary families didn't like concubines. To put it bluntly, concubines were just concubines, and they had no status in the family. Hearing Jing Qian's words, old Zhao's family felt a little uneasy. They didn't know what to say. Li Chuiying frowned and stammered, "A concubine? Mr. Zheng, why is Jing a concubine? Isn't she the legal wife?" This matchmaker gal was really too much. She didn't even explain this clearly and made her happy for nothing. There was a big difference between a legal wife and a concubine. If her daughter really married a concubine, she wouldn't dare to brag to others that Zhao Jing'er had found a good family. If she told others, she would probably be laughed at. Zheng Qian smiled. Aunt, I already have a wife. It's precisely because my wife hasn't had any children that I want to marry a concubine. She can carry on the family line for me. As for the betrothal gifts, don't worry. We'll do it according to the legal wife. We won't mistreat Jing-er. If she can give birth to a fat boy for me after we get married, I'll give you an extra 100 taels of silver. Since Zheng Qian's family, old Zhao's family was rich. Thinking about it, if the gift money was not a problem, and there were so many promises, there was really nothing much to say. It's just that it doesn't have a good reputation. If you don't care about that, it's fine. Old Zhao's family was silent and hesitant. They pulled Zhao Wenshui and Li Chuiying aside and said to them, actually, I don't think it's a big deal. Isn't it just a concubine? If Jing-er marries into your family, her life will be much better than that of an ordinary family. I think she can live a good life. Also, young Master Zheng's legal wife is a hen that can't lay eggs. If our Jing-er marries him and can really give birth to a son, the mother's status will rise because of her son. Maybe in the future, she can squeeze out the legal wife. Zhao Wenshui and Li Chuiying heard that and nodded. Chapter 8:17. Mom is right. As long as Jing-er gives birth to a son, she will have a good life in the future. Yes, that's true. If she misses out on Lord Zheng, it will be difficult for Jing-er to find such a good man. But all the villagers are poor. How can Jing-er live a good life? Then let's agree to the marriage and let Jing-er marry Lord Zheng. Will Jing-er agree? What's there to disagree about? We're not harming her. We just want her to live a good life. No matter how much we look forward to it, it won't happen. That's true. Many people can't wait for it. Speaking of which, our Jing-er is quite lucky. Alright, let's talk to Lord Jing about it. Don't think that we won't agree to marry another girl. It's such a good opportunity. If Jing-er doesn't agree, there are plenty of other people who will. Right. After the few of them finished their discussion, they turned around and walked over to Zheng Qian. Just as they were about to tell Zheng Qian that it was fine, Zhao Baoshan jumped out and said very sternly, how can we do that? We country folk will not stoop to the level of being concubines. Lord Zheng, if Jing-er really wants to be a concubine, then forget it. Old Zhao's family can't afford to lose face. After Zhao Baoshan said that, Zhao Wenshui, Li Chuiying, and Hu Chunhua all thought that it was over. Now, Zheng Qian would probably be angry and really not agree to this marriage. Hu Chunhua immediately said to Zhao Baoshan, old man, why do you care so much about it? It's just a matter of reputation. If old Zhao's family doesn't talk about it, no one will know. The most important thing is whether Jing-er can live a good life after marrying into that family. Nowadays, people find a good man for their children because they want them to live a comfortable life in the future. Think about it, if Jing-er marries into that family, she can eat and drink well every day. She will also be taken care of by others. Compared to marrying into an ordinary family, she will have to work tirelessly to serve her in-laws, her husband, and her whole family, okay? After Hu Chunhua said that, Zhao Baoshan snorted. You only care about these things. How can a concubine be so good? Old man, I say, why are you so stubborn? You only think about fame and reputation. Why do we care about things like face? What's the use of it? Could it be that they could be eaten as food? Don't you think about the children's future? Li Chuiying followed Hu Chunhua and echoed. Dad, the most important thing is that Jing-er can live a good life. Father, it's not easy for our Jing-er to marry into such a family? If she wants to be the legal wife, does she need to come all the way to our countryside to find someone? Zhao Baoshan listened to Zhao Wenshui, Li Chuiying, and Hu Chunhua talking one after another. His frown deepened. What they said made sense, but in fact, it wasn't the case. They just wanted money. They made it sound nice. Zhao Baoshan coldly stared at the three of them. They would do anything for money. However, Zhao Jing was Zhao Wenshui and Li Chuiying's daughter. No matter how unwilling he was, he couldn't oppose it too much. Chapter 8:18. After all, Zhao Jin would be the one getting married in the end. Zhao Jin had the right to decide whether to marry or not. If Zhao Jin said that she was willing to be Jing Qian's concubine, together with Zhao Wenshui and the other two, he couldn't continue to object. If Zhao Jin didn't agree, it would be better to cancel the marriage. Zhao Jin didn't expect Zhao Baoshan to come over and ask her. Zhao Jing had heard the conversation between her parents and her grandmother. She thought about it and felt that there was nothing wrong with what her parents had said. Compared to marrying a country bumpkin and suffering, she definitely wanted to live a good life. So she lowered her head and said to Zhao Baoshan timidly, "Grandpa, I think it's pretty good." This meant that she agreed. Zhao Baoshan sighed and didn't know what to say. Hu Chunhua was overjoyed and said to Zhao Baoshan, "Old man, look, Jing agreed. What else do you have to say?" Zhao Baoshan snorted and reminded Zhao Jin, Jing, you chose this path yourself. Don't regret it." Zhao Jin responded bitterly, "Okay, I know, Grandpa." With Hu Chunhua's matchmaking, Zhao Jin and Jing Qian's marriage was settled. Zhao Yun heard these words and felt that her worldview was shattered. These people were really interesting. They actually thought that it was good to be someone else's concubine. To put it bluntly, it was actually sharing a man with another woman. Zhao Yun felt disgusted just thinking about it. In addition, she didn't know if old Zhao's family was crazy. Even Zhao Jin was crazy. Didn't they know that if Zhao Jin married over, she would be worse than a concubine? He wanted her to give birth to a son, but she was just a baby-making machine. If Zhao Jin married over and couldn't give birth to a son, one could imagine how Zhao Jin's life in the Zheng family would be in the future. Rich people knew how to scheme. Of course, old Zhao's family was greedy for money. They only thought about the good side and didn't consider the bad side. Zhao Yun didn't have much feelings for Zhao Jing Thinking about it this way, Zhao Jing and Li Chuiying were similar in terms of being greedy. Zhao Yun naturally couldn't say anything about her choice. Whatever Zhao Jing experienced in the future, that was her business. Everything that she might suffer in the future was her own choice. People had to be responsible for their own decisions. Zhao Yun stopped thinking about old Zhao's family and started to prepare lunch. At noon, she had lunch with her parents and entertained the men who were helping to chop trees in the mountains. When it was time for dinner, old Zhao's family had to prepare the meal. However, there was nothing good in old Zhao's house. He didn't know that Jing Qian would suddenly come. It wasn't easy for Jing Qian to come over, and he was from a rich family. Naturally, they couldn't neglect him. Jing Qian came over this time with a lot of things, but they were all some pastries, candies, longan, and brown sugar. However, he didn't bring anything that could be cooked with meat. So for a while, old Zhao's family couldn't take out anything good to entertain him. It was one thing to have nothing to entertain him, but they couldn't let Jing Qian leave and not eat at their house. Li Chuiying pulled Hu Chunhua to the side and asked Hu Chunhua anxiously, "Mother, what should we do now? What should we entertain young Master Zheng at noon?" Chapter 8:19. In addition, if the reception wasn't good, people would think that old Zhao's family was too shabby and didn't take the Zheng family seriously. Hu Chunhua frowned. She was also worried about this. Well, we don't have much good food at home. We don't have any meat or fish. We only have some vegetables. Mom, why don't we get some eggs? Can we catch another chicken and kill it? That way, the food will be better. Hu Chunhua nodded. Although she didn't want to do that, she knew that she couldn't be stingy in this aspect. Seeing that Hu Chunhua agreed, Li Chuiying happily agreed. He also flattered Hu Chunhua. Mom, let's wait for Lord Zheng to give us the betrothal gifts. Hu Chunhua snorted. If it weren't for Zheng Qian's money, she wouldn't have agreed to kill a chicken to entertain Zheng Qian. She had to pay back the capital she had invested in him in the future. And it would be a bigger return. I'm glad that you know. Mom, we haven't separated from the main family yet. In the future, Lord Zheng's money will be given to you. Sure. Hu Chunhua replied. Li Chuiying happily ran up to Zheng Qian and said to him, Young Master Zheng, why don't you have a meal at my house today before you leave? I'll kill a chicken for you at noon. Li Chuiying just wanted to tell Zheng Qian that there would be delicious food for him at noon. However, right after Li Chuiying said that, the waiter who came with Zheng Qian said, Lord Zheng doesn't eat chicken. After the waiter said that, Li Chuiying stiffened and said to Zheng Qian, Oh. Lord Zheng, you don't eat chicken. Li Chuiying obviously looked a little disappointed. What should he do now? If Zheng Qian didn't eat chicken, what good food was there to entertain him at home? Zheng Qian smiled and said, Auntie, just prepare some food for me at noon. I'm not particular. Li Chuiying answered with a smile. It was true that it wasn't particular, but it couldn't be too shabby. Li Chuiying was extremely anxious. He hurriedly pulled Hu Chunhua aside and asked, Mother, what should we do now? Young Master Zheng won't eat chicken. Do we have anything else to offer? Hu Chunhua frowned and said to Li Chuiying, Don't you know what we have? Think about it yourself, what kind of food can there be? Hu Chunhua thought for a while. Indeed, there was nothing to eat. Their house was not in town, so they could not buy anything on the spur of the moment. He didn't have it at home, and he couldn't buy it. He had to think of a solution. No matter how much he thought about it, he couldn't think of anything. He could only feel anxious. Seeing Li Chuiying like this, Hu Chunhua said to Li Chuiying, All right, don't worry. It's useless to be anxious. Saying that, Hu Chunhua rolled her eyes and said to Li Chuiying, I saw Yuner bring meat back. How about this? You can go and talk to Yuner and ask her to sell the meat to us. We'll pay her the money. Hearing that, Li Chuiying's eyes lit up. He felt that Hu Chunhua's words made sense, so he nodded at once. Mother, no problem. I'll go talk to Yuner right now. Li Chuiying's flattery was very effective on Hu Chunhua. Chapter 820. Li Chuiying smiled sheepishly and replied, Mother, you're right. I'll definitely do as you say. Take your time. There's no rush. Okay. Go ahead and let Yun know, said Hu Chunhua. Okay. Mother, I'll go right away. With that, Li Chuiying eagerly ran to Zhao Yun's room. Actually, Li Chuiying didn't think it was enough to just borrow the meat. If she could get Zhao Yun to cook a bowl of pig offal and bring it over for Zheng Qian to eat, it would be much more sumptuous to treat Zheng Qian. Although she thought this way, whether Zhao Yun would agree or not depended on what Zhao Yun said. Zhao Yun was preparing to cook in the kitchen when she saw Li Chuiying walk over with a solicitous expression. Zhao Yun raised her eyebrows and asked Li Chuiying, Oh, second aunt, what brings you here? Li Chuiying smiled fawningly at Zhao Yun's question. Yun, I actually want to ask you for a favor. Oh, second aunt actually came to ask me for a favor. Zhao Yun looked like she was making a fuss over nothing. Li Chuiying knew that she didn't get along with Zhao Yun normally and said a lot of bad things to her. At this moment, Zhao Yun was being picky and making things difficult for her. It was understandable. Li Chuiying said even more fawningly, Yun, it's second aunt's fault. You're a good girl, so don't be so calculative with second aunt, okay? Zhao Yun, glanced at Li Chuiying with a half-smile. Actually, she couldn't be bothered to argue with her. Second aunt, what's the matter? Just say it. You don't have to beat around the bush. Li Chuiying said with a smile, Yuner, look, Jing's future husband is coming to our house today. He is a rich man, so old Zhao's family should treat him well. But we don't have anything good to serve you at home, so we were wondering if you could sell us the pork you bought today. If possible, could you also give us a bowl of your fried pig offal? After Li Chuiying finished speaking, he looked at Zhao Yuner expectantly. Zhao Yuner sneered. She didn't know where Li Chuiying got the nerve to say those words. She usually made things difficult for her, but now she had the nerve to ask for her help. She wasn't stupid. Seeing that Zhao Yuner didn't say anything, Li Chuiying suddenly became anxious. He said to Zhao Yuner, Yuner, please help us with this. Jing finally found a good husband, and I really hope she can marry him and live a happy life. Even if you don't want to give second aunt face, you have to think about Jing. After all, she is your cousin, don't you think so? Zhao Yuner smiled. You're right, second aunt. Since that's the case, I'll sell it to you. Li Chuiying was delighted. Ha, that's great. Yuner is so generous and sensible. But, Zhao Yuner continued, which made Li Chuiying's heart skip a beat. What's wrong? Li Chuiying asked. But second aunt, I have to treat someone at noon, and I brought it all the way from the town for you. Of course, I have to pay more. Chapter 821. It's not much. Aunt, I'll sell it to you for 100 copper coins per kilo of meat. If you really want to eat the pig's offal, it'll be 100 copper coins. The total is 200 copper coins. If you think it's okay, just give me the money. As soon as Zhao Yun finished her words, Li Chuiying's face changed. Wasn't Zhao Yun asking for too much? It wasn't just a little more money. She was asking for a lot of money. Li Chuiying said to Zhao Yun angrily, Yun how can you do this? Aren't you cheating me? Zhao Yun smiled and sneered, Aunt, you're wrong. I'm not forcing you to buy it. Since you don't want it, you don't have to buy it. Li Chuiying felt that there was a mouthful of blood in her chest, and she almost spat it out. Zhao Yun, this be asterisk tch, she was sure that she had to buy it from her. It was noon now. How could she get something to serve Jing Qian in such a short time? Seeing Li Chuiying staring at her without saying anything, Zhao Yun chuckled. Since you don't want to buy it, let's move. Our kitchen is small, and I still have to cook. Li Chuiying gritted her teeth, who said I don't want to buy it? Wait a minute, I'll go ask your grandmother first. Li Chuiying turned and walked out of Zhao Yun's kitchen. It was so much money. She had to discuss it with Hu Chunhua and get Hu Chunhua's approval. Anyway, she had to make Jing Qian satisfied with the meal. If she showed enough respect, she would ask for more betrothal gifts when the time came. In this way, 200 copper coins wasn't a big deal. Li Chuiying went to Hu Chunhua and told her about it. When Hu Chunhua heard that it actually needed 200 copper coins, she immediately exploded. Little bitch, you've learned how to rip people off. I don't know how many good things you can buy with 200 copper coins. Hu Chunhua was so angry that she wanted to kill Zhao Yun. Li Chuiying quickly nodded and said, Mother, that's right. That girl, Zhao Yun, wants to take advantage of this opportunity to rip off people. I'm not buying it. It's only 200 coins. Why would I give it to her for free? Hu Chunhua said angrily. It wasn't as if their family had too much money to spend. Li Chuiying was extremely anxious and hurriedly said to Hu Chunhua, Mother, we can't not buy it. Even if that little b*** tch cheats us, if we don't buy it, what will we use to entertain her at noon? Then I won't entertain you. Mother, now is not the time to throw tantrums. If the marriage between young Master Zheng and Jing fails, how much money will our family lose? Without our Jing there are plenty of girls waiting to marry young Master Zheng. Mother, as long as Jing marries him and gives birth to a chubby son, our family will be able to earn 100 taels of silver. Compared to 100 taels of silver, 200 copper coins is nothing. Hua Chuanhua's anger subsided after Li Chueying's persuasion. Li Chueying was right. Zheng Qian had to entertain them well. Thinking about the gift money and the 100 taels of silver that Zheng Qian was about to give, Hua Chunhua endured the pain and said to Li Chueying, I'll go to the room to get the money first. Li Chueying happily agreed. After Hua Chunhua took out the money, Li Chueying took the money and went to Zhao Yun's kitchen. Yun, here's 200 copper coins. Give me the meat and remember to prepare a portion of pig offal for me. Chapter 822. When Zhao Yuner saw Li Chueying's pained expression when he handed over the money, she couldn't help but feel pleased. Li Chueying and Hua Chunhua had cheated so much. It would be strange if they didn't feel bad about it. In fact, 1 kilo of meat that Zhao Yuner bought only cost 13 copper coins and 1 copper coin for the pig's offal. Including the cost of processing, it would be 15 to 16 copper coins. After deducting the cost, she had made more than 180 copper coins, which was enough for her to sell a lot of breakfast. Yuner, when you're done, bring the pig's offal to me. Li Chueying reminded her. Zhao Yuner nodded. Got it, aunt. Okay. Li Chueying reminded her, then left Zhao Yuner's room. After Li Chueying left, Liang Jinxiao went to Zhao Yuner and said to Zhao Yuner, Yuner, is it appropriate for us to do this? Why did you ask for so much money from your second aunt? Zhao Yuner knew that Liang Jinxiao was a shy person. He would feel embarrassed to take so much money from old Zhao's family, so she said to Liang Jinxiao, Mother, it's no big deal. They're always so bad. We should get something from them, don't you think so? Liang Jinxiao smiled helplessly. His second daughter was always full of ideas. Without a doubt, Hua Chunhua and Li Chueying must be very angry at this moment. Yuner, if we give the meat to your aunt, what should we eat for lunch? Mother, we have a lot of good dishes for lunch. I asked Tianfu to bring me some tiger meat and fish head. We can also make some fish and tofu. We can also save a bowl of pig's offal. We can also stir-fry 2 vegetables and make a soup. Isn't that good? Liang Jinxiao listened and nodded. It was indeed good. Ordinary people in the countryside wouldn't have such good food. Okay, let's eat for lunch. Okay. Father and the others are tired from working. They should eat more good food. Yes, physical work requires strength. If they don't eat more, they won't have the strength to work. While the mother and daughter were talking, the men who went up the mountain to chop trees came back. The men chopped 3 to 4 trees in the morning. If they went to chop more trees in the afternoon, it would be enough. The thick branches could be used to build a house, while the thin branches and leaves were all chopped down by the men with axes and machetes. These branches and leaves were actually good things. Unlike the people in the 21st century, the ancient people in the ancient times didn't have liquefied natural gas. They used wood, natural wood. Natural wood was used to make a fire. Basically, the rice was used, TS's cooking est cooking, SS, and other, TU's uses. Used, TSSS of T beat burn, S. Therefore, they would usually cut some wood. When the men came back, each of them was dragging a lot of branches in their hands. Seeing this, Liang Jinxiao felt a burst of joy. He didn't have to worry about the wood this year after it was dried and stored. You must be tired. Come in and have a seat. It'll be ready in a while. The men wiped the beads of sweat on their foreheads and responded with a smile. Then, they went into the house to rest. Herbal tea was already prepared on the table in the third room. After they went in, each of them poured a cup of tea and drank it. The tea quenched their thirst, and they immediately felt much better. Chapter 8:23. Zhao Yun was very fast at cooking. After a while, the dishes were out of the pot. After cooking one dish, Zhao Yun asked Liang Jinxiao to bring it to the table and asked the men to eat first. It would take some time for the men to drink, and the remaining dishes would be served one by one. When Zhao Yun finished cooking the pig's offal, old Zhao's family was also waiting for lunch. Zhao Yun put a plate of pig's offal and brought it over. Old Zhao's family moved the table out and prepared to eat in the yard. Zheng Qian was asked to sit at the top table. Hua Chunhua cooked the lunch herself. Except for the third branch and the fourth branch, the first branch and the second branch were not good at cooking. If the meat was cooked for them, it would be a waste of ingredients. Now that the third branch was separated, the fourth branch's daughter-in-law went up the mountain to help cook, so she had to cook by herself. The meat was stewed, so there was no need to put oil in it. Otherwise, if it was braised, oil would have to be added. Hua Chunhua was reluctant to do that. In addition to the meat, Hua Chunhua also cooked a few side dishes. This time, she put more oil in them, which was rare. However, the dishes were dark and looked unappetizing. After putting the dishes on the table, Zheng Qian glanced at them and didn't want to eat. Li Chuiying attentively put the bowls and chopsticks on the table and asked Zheng Qian to eat. "Child Zheng, come on. You must be hungry. Hurry up and eat." Zheng Qian glanced at the bowls and chopsticks again. They were very old and even had some mold on them. They looked dirty. Zheng Qian had no appetite. He didn't even want to touch the bowls and chopsticks. Seeing that Zheng Qian didn't want to eat, Lu Chuiying's heart tightened. She asked, "Child Zheng, is it because our food is too shabby and you don't like it?" Before Zheng Qian could say anything, the attendant who came with him couldn't help complaining, "Your dishes are so dirty. It would be strange if our young master has an appetite to eat them. Even I don't want to eat them." After the attendant finished speaking, the expressions of old Zhao's family members changed slightly. They were very embarrassed. These dishes didn't look good, but with a lot of oil and water, they were much better than usual. Well, Li Chuiying didn't know what to say. No matter how much she thought about it, she didn't expect Zheng Qian to dislike the food because it wasn't clean. What should I do now? The dishes have already been cooked, and there is no way that I can cook them again, Zheng Qian said lightly. "It's okay, Auntie. I'm not hungry. You can eat." Li Chuiying understood that even though Zheng Qian said he was fine, he didn't want to eat because the food was not to his liking. While Li Chuiying was worrying about what to do, Zhao Yuner finished making the pig offal. She filled a bowl, brought it over, and placed it on old Zhao's table. Zhao Yuner's pleasant voice rang out. "Second aunt, come, here." When the pig offal was brought over, a fragrant smell entered everyone's nose. Smelling the smell, people couldn't help but swallow their saliva. The taste should be pretty good too. Zheng Qian had never seen such a thing before. He looked into the bowl curiously. It also looked very good, and it was very appetizing. His gaze then fell on Zhao Yuner. He found that the girl was very delicate and pretty. She wasn't a beauty, but she gave people a comfortable feeling. Especially her pair of dark eyes, they were very lively and seemed to be able to talk. Chapter 8:24. What's this? Zheng Qian pointed at the pig offal on the table and asked Zhao Yun, curiously. Zhao Yun, replied indifferently, "Pig offal." Hearing the words, "pig offal," Zheng Qian and the servants' faces changed slightly. "Pig offal? How can you serve such a dirty and smelly thing to my master?" Do you think my master is like you country bumpkins? Even if he's serving ordinary people, he doesn't need to serve such a thing. The servant said angrily and looked at old Zhao's family with a trace of disdain in his eyes. Country bumpkins were country bumpkins. They didn't have anything good to serve them, so they only served such a useless thing. Zhao Yun glanced at the servant speechlessly. What's wrong with pig offal? What's wrong with country bumpkins eating it? Don't eat it if you dare. I'm not asking you to eat it. Really? Hearing Zhao Yun's words, the servant was even angrier. Country bumpkins didn't know the rules at all. Anyway, he followed his master here, so he was considered a guest. How could he treat a guest with such an attitude? Master, the servant looked at Jing Qian with an aggrieved expression, hoping that Jing Qian would help him reprimand his master. Jing Qian took a deep look at Zhao Yun, as if he was thinking about something. Li Chuiying was afraid that Jing Qian would be angry and misunderstand, so he hurriedly explained to Jing Qian. Master Zheng, actually, it's not like that. It's not that we're poor and can only serve you pig offal. You don't know that the pig offal made by my niece is not only not smelly, but also tastes good. It's much better than meat. If you don't believe me, you can try it. The servant didn't notice until Li Chuiying said so. It seemed that pig offal didn't stink. Zheng Qian nodded. Yes, aunt. If this girl didn't say it, who would know it was made of pig offal? It's really shocking. As for how it tastes, we can only comment after tasting it. My family's servants are too reckless. As Zheng Qian said, he picked up the chopsticks and curiously picked up a piece of pig offal to eat. When he tasted the pig offal, Zheng Qian was shocked. He didn't know that pig offal could taste so good. Delicious, delicious. I've eaten so many delicious things, but I've never tasted anything better than this. Zheng Qian's words were like a slap to the attendant's face. The attendant felt a little guilty because of his words just now. Li Chuiying heaved a sigh of relief when he heard Zheng Qian's words. She was afraid that Zheng Qian would not eat, so there was nothing to serve Zheng Qian. Now, with Zhao Yun'er's pig offal, Zheng Qian could at least eat some. Xiao Lu, help me get some rice. Zheng Qian ordered the attendant. After eating the pig offal made by Zhao Yun'er, Zheng Qian immediately felt his appetite increase. He wanted to continue eating, so he ordered Xiao Lu to help him scoop rice. Xiao Lu nodded. Yes, young master. When the rice was placed on the table, the waiter served Zheng Qian a bowl of rice. Zheng Qian and old Zhao's family began to eat happily together. Because they were hosting Zheng Qian, the lunch today was definitely very good for old Zhao's family. Knowing that Zheng Qian would only eat pig offal, old Zhao's family tactfully didn't touch the pig offal and ate other dishes. At least there was meat today, which they couldn't eat normally. Chapter 825. She bit her chopsticks and hesitated for a while. In the end, she picked up a piece of pig's offal. There was so much pig's offal in the bowl anyway. It was fine for her to eat a little. She tasted the pig's offal, which was much better than other dishes. She looked at the pig's offal in the bowl again. When she was about to pick up another piece, Li Chuiying couldn't help but say, "Aunt, there's too much pig's offal." "Auntie, there's only this much pig offal. Young Master Zheng still wants to eat more. You can eat one piece and leave the rest for young Master Zheng." Li Chuiying said that in a negotiating tone, but Zhao Yun knew that Li Chuiying was scolding her for being greedy. Zhao Ping pursed her lips and looked a little unhappy. "Mom, I want to eat. There's so much pig's offal. What's wrong with me eating a few more pieces?" Zhao Xinhui pulled Hua Chunhua's sleeves aggrievedly. Hua Chunhua cared about her daughter very much. She said to Li Chuiying, "The rest of us haven't eaten yet. What's wrong with letting your younger sister eat a few more pieces?" Since Hua Chunhua stood up for him, Li Chuiying naturally couldn't say anything more. However, he felt very uncomfortable in his heart. Zhao Xinhui was a gluttonous and insensible person. Hu Chunhua had spoiled her too much and spoiled her too much. Mom, Lord Jing doesn't have much to eat. My younger sister can eat a few pieces if she wants, but she can't help eating a lot. Li Chuiying pouted. Zhao Xinhui was instantly annoyed. Lord Jing marrying Zhao Jing'er had nothing to do with her. Aunt, you're so nice to your future son-in-law. What's wrong with me eating? Jing'er will only be a concubine in the future. How can you be so happy? Do you think your daughter has hooked a rich husband? Zhao Xinhui's tone was very aggressive. It seemed that she despised Li Chuiying. Even Zhao Xinhui didn't care about Jing Qian's background, not to mention that Zhao Jing'er was just marrying him as a concubine. Li Chuiying's face immediately turned red. Zhao Xinhui, you little b*tch, what are you talking about? She must be jealous of their Jing'er. She couldn't get married, so she came out to make a fuss at this time. Wasn't she hoping that Jing Qian would be angry and unhappy, so that the marriage with their Jing'er could not be discussed later? Zhao Jing'er's expression was also ugly, feeling that Zhao Xinhui was mocking her for her lack of knowledge. Jing Qian coughed awkwardly. Auntie Jing'er is right. I shouldn't be the only one eating so much pig offal. You guys should eat it too. At least you know what's good for you. Zhao Xinhui snorted and continued to pick up the pig's offal with a proud look. Although Zheng had a lot of money, old Zhao's family knew that there was only so much money in a bowl. 1 yuan per person would probably be gone. It was better to leave it for Jing Qian. Jing Qian was quite satisfied with this meal because of Zhao Yun'er's pig offal. After eating, Jing Qian became a little interested in Zhao Yun, so he pretended to ask casually, Auntie, this pig offal is really delicious. Who was the girl who brought the pig offal over? Li Chuiying was angry at the mention of Zhao Yun'er and this bowl of pig offal. Chapter 826. Jing Qian nodded with a thoughtful look on his face. Was Zhao Yun'er really the kind of woman that Li Chuiying described? Although Dao De was Mu Yanfeng's son, in Li Chuiying's eyes, Zhao Yun'er was just a woman with a child without any status. If His Highness really cared about her, why didn't he marry Zhao Yun'er after she had his child? In the end, it was because Zhao Yun'er didn't have enough weight in Mu Yanfeng's heart. The reason why Zhao Yun'er could be so arrogant now was because Dao De was His Highness's child. Once His Highness abandoned Zhao Yun'er would become a joke. Then this girl is quite pitiful. Jing Qian was silent for a while and said with sympathy. Zhao Yun'er gave birth to a son who was good-looking and a good cook. It would be great if he could marry such a woman as his concubine. Since she could give birth to a son in her first pregnancy, the chances of her giving birth to a son in her second pregnancy should be higher. Li Chuiying snorted when he heard Jing Qian say that Zhao Yun'er was pitiful. Lord Zheng, you're overthinking it. This bitch isn't pitiful at all. She's living a happy life now. It's all because she has the ability to hook up with a rich man. Jing Qian heard the jealousy in Li Chuiying's words, and the corners of his mouth curved up slightly. If this woman wanted to hook up with a rich man because of money, it would be even better. His family was relatively rich. If he gave Zhao Yun'er some money, she might be willing to marry him and give birth to a son for him. Li Chuiying saw Jing Qian deep in thought, but didn't know what he was thinking. Lord Zheng, why are you asking about that bitch? Jing Qian smiled. Nothing. Sigh, then let's not talk about her anymore. I feel unlucky talking about her. Jing Qian responded, but his mind was still thinking about Zhao Yun'er. Especially Zhao Yun'er's impatient and shrewish look, which was different from most women. In the room of the third branch, the family was eating and chatting happily. After chopping the wood today, the next 2 days would be to process the wood into slices or pillars and so on. This was relatively time-consuming. Su Yukai was also a carpenter in addition to helping people do some rough work. Therefore, for this kind of work, there was no need to specially hire a carpenter. Once the wood was processed, they could start laying the foundation. Time flies when you're busy. There was no sign of the current house, but it wouldn't be long before the new house would be built. During dinner, Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao inevitably talked to Su Yukai about Zhao Tianan's marriage. Tomorrow, the two children would go to Yang City to play and meet at the same time. Su Youcai's niece and her mother would go to Yang City to do some shopping tomorrow. Upon hearing this, Zhao Tianan's reaction was very fierce. He put the bowl and chopsticks on the table. "Mother, I'm not going." Except for Ma Xiaofeng, he didn't want to look at other girls, let alone marry other girls. Zhao Tianan's sudden awkwardness made the people of the third branch stunned. Usually, Zhao Tianan wasn't like this. He was usually very obedient and had never resisted like this. Zhao Wenhua and Liang Jinxiao's faces darkened. "Tianan, you, father, mother, I'm not going. I don't like this marriage." Chapter 827. Liang Jinxiao sighed and said, "Tianan, we're doing this for your own good. This marriage was originally arranged by your parents. We'll definitely find a good girl for you. We won't hurt you." Zhao Tianan was still reluctant. "Mom, I don't want to do this. I don't even know who this girl is, and I don't even know what she looks like. How can I marry her?" "You don't know her, and you'll know when you meet her tomorrow. I didn't say that you have to agree to this marriage. I just want you to see if the girl is suitable for you." Zhao Tianan was silent for a while, then said to Liang Jinxiao, "Mom, I know, but Mom, if I want to marry a wife, I only want to marry someone I like. I don't like the girl. If I marry her, it'll only be a waste of time." Zhao Tianan mustered up the courage to finish his words. If it were any other day, he naturally wouldn't dare to say this. However, when he thought about Ma Xiaofeng and his future happiness, if he didn't say it this time and let his parents make the decision, the chances of him being together with Ma Xiaofeng in the future would be even slimmer. After saying these words, Zhao Tianan lowered his head. He was very nervous and didn't know what his parents would say. Zhao Wenhua was furious with Zhao Tianan. "The girl you like? Aren't you talking about Xiaofeng?" "Tianan, it's not that we don't agree, but if you marry her, will Xiaofeng's mother agree? This marriage is basically arranged by the parents, so your marriage naturally has to be arranged by your mother and me." Zhao Tianan was unconvinced. "Dad, you didn't go to Xiaofeng's house to talk about marriage. How do you know she won't agree?" Zhao Wenhua was speechless by Zhao Tianan's words. His son had set his sights on Ma Xiaofeng, and only Ma Xiaofeng could marry him. This marriage has to be of equal social status. It's not that father and mother think that Xiaofeng is not good, but with your uncle Yukai introducing you, it will definitely be much better than looking for Xiaofeng's family. Tianan, you're still young, and there are many things that you don't know yet. You'll understand in the future. Marriage isn't just about two people who like each other. It depends on many conditions. Zhao Wenhua said earnestly. Like Liang Jinxiao, he didn't want Zhao Tianan and Ma Xiaofeng to be together. It wasn't because he didn't like Ma Xiaofeng, but because Ma Xiaofeng's family was special. Ma Xiaofeng was brought up by Qian Chuanxiu, and Qian Chuanxiu was an unreasonable person. Zhao Wenhua was worried that there would be problems in the future if they became in-laws with such a family. When Zhao Tianan heard this, he couldn't help but say, "Dad, you're just making excuses. You just don't want me to be with Xiaofeng. According to what you said, the gap between second sister and Shitzi is even bigger. Our family and Shitzi's family are not of equal social status. Does that mean second sister will never be able to marry Shitzi in the future?" At this time, Zhao Tianan brought up Zhao Yun, and Mu Yanfeng, which made Zhao Yun, a little unhappy. This younger brother of hers was really stupid, and he was getting more and more overboard. He couldn't tell who was good to him, and he still foolishly hoped to be with Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Yun wanted to slap him a few times to wake him up. Chapter 828. Second Sister. Zhao Tianan was slightly stunned. He didn't expect Zhao Yun to say that. He felt wronged and upset at the same time. Zhao Wenhua responded angrily, "It's the parents' orders and the matchmaker's words. Since he's so against it, then we'll just ignore it. I'd like to see if he can really marry Xiaofeng. If he does, then we'll split up. You two can live together. Our family doesn't want to get into any trouble in the future." Zhao Tianan felt very wronged. Why did his parents and sister treat him like this? Was it wrong to be with the person he liked? Why were his parents and second sister so against it and forcing him to? Liang Jinxiao sighed and glanced at Zhao Tianan. Although he felt sorry for his son, he knew that he should be ruthless. Otherwise, Zhao Tianan would stubbornly marry Ma Xiaofeng. Zhao Tianan clenched his fists and suddenly stood up. "I must go to Xiaofeng." After saying that, Zhao Tianan rushed out of the house. Liang Jinxiao shook his head, not knowing what to say. Zhao Wenhua snorted angrily. "Let him go. Why is this child becoming more and more disobedient as he grows up?" Liang Jinxiao sighed. "Sigh, it can't be helped. That child has taken a fancy to Xiaofeng." After saying that, he looked at Su Yukai apologetically. "Brother Yukai, I'm sorry. You've worked hard to help our family, but my son," seeing the guilt in Liang Jinxiao's heart, Su Yukai waved his hand and said, "It's okay, it's okay. Sigh, children can't be controlled when they grow up. Our son is the same. I'll talk to my brother later and put this marriage matter aside for the time being." Zhao Wenhua said apologetically, "Then I'll have to trouble brother Yukai." "It's okay. This matter couldn't be blamed on the adults. It was all because the child was immature, so Su Yukai naturally had nothing to say." After the men finished eating, they chatted for a while and then prepared to go up the mountain to chop trees. Mu Lianfeng had something to deal with in the afternoon, so he didn't go. When Zhao Yuner went back with Mu Lianfeng, she found several holes in Mu Lianfeng's clothes. It was probably because he was scratched by a branch when he was chopping down a tree. Originally good clothes, suddenly become like this, Zhao Yuner frowned. "Mu Lianfeng, you shouldn't do any rough work in the future." Zhao Yun couldn't help but say. The interest created by this guy was not even worth what he was losing. If he worked a few more times, his clothes would probably be ruined and he would not be able to wear them anymore. Mu Lianfeng was stunned. He raised his eyebrows and asked, "Why? Look at how torn your clothes are." Zhao Yun pointed at the tear on Mu Lianfeng's clothes. Mu Lianfeng looked at it. Indeed. There were big holes on his back and legs. Mu Lianfeng frowned. He didn't even notice it. With such a big hole, he probably couldn't wear his clothes anymore. "Then I'll change my clothes. If I work next time, I'll wear these torn clothes," Mu Lianfeng said with a smile on his face. Zhao Yuner glared at Mu Lianfeng. "What a waste. It's not like you can't wear the torn clothes. Take them off and I'll patch them up." Mu Lianfeng was stunned. He had never worn patched clothes before. Chapter 829. Even if the clothes were not damaged at all and could still be worn, he would change them all. For such torn clothes, he would definitely not continue wearing them after patching them up. No matter how thrifty the heir presumptive's residence was, they would never think of saving such a small amount of money on him. "Yun, there's no need for that, right? It's so troublesome, you'll have to patch it up." "I don't know how to patch it up." Mu Lianfeng frowned and asked resentfully. Zhao Yun reprimanded him sternly. "Mu Lianfeng, it's shameful to waste money. Do you know that? If you patch up these clothes, they'll definitely be fine and can be worn. Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yun's angry little face and nodded. All right then, Yun, it's been hard on you. Zhao Yun waved her hand. It's okay, I'll patch it up for you. Okay. When they reached home, Zhao Yun asked Mu Yanfeng to take off his clothes and she took out her needle and thread. Looking at Mu Yanfeng's clothes, there were too many holes and it would not be easy to patch them up. Zhao Yun's needlework was also average and not particularly good. After patching up Mu Yanfeng's clothes, Zhao Yun looked at her needlework and it was a terrible sight. Fortunately, she did not look closely. If she did not look closely, she would not discover anything. It seems a little ugly. Zhao Yun muttered and looked at Mu Yanfeng apologetically. Mu Yanfeng's lips curved into a smile. It's okay, Yun. Thinking that Zhao Yun had patched it up for him personally, Mu Yanfeng felt that he would wear it no matter how ugly it was. In this lifetime, she had never patched up his clothes. Now it's time to patch up your pants. Take them off. Zhao Yun said very naturally. Mu Yanfeng looked a little embarrassed. Take off my pants. Yeah, if you don't take off your pants, how am I supposed to fix it for you? Mu Yanfeng smiled bitterly. Okay. I'll take it off. He was only wearing a pair of bedding pants. If he took off his pants, wouldn't Zhao Yun'er see it? He had never taken off his pants in front of a woman before. Thinking about it, he felt a little shy. Zhao Yun'er did not think of this and urged Mu Yanfeng to take it off quickly. The sooner he took it off, the sooner she could make up for it. Mu Yanfeng dawdled for a while, then awkwardly took off his pants. Yun'er, here. Zhao Yun'er took it and looked at Mu Yanfeng. He was so careful. Why did it seem like she was forcing a good girl into prostitution? This guy, did he have to show such an expression? Holding Mu Yanfeng's trousers, Zhao Yun'er mended them and found that the crotch area was torn. Zhao Yun'er was curious. No matter how powerful this branch was, it shouldn't have torn Mu Yanfeng's crotch, right? It was more troublesome to sew the crotch than an ordinary hole. Zhao Yun'er fiddled with it for a while. As she sewed, she muttered to herself, did I accidentally make this hole or accidentally cause it to explode? After Mu Yanfeng heard Zhao Yun'er's muttering, he looked even more embarrassed. Yun'er, it should have been accidentally cut, let me see if your bedding pants are torn. If it's torn, I'll mend it for you. With that, Zhao Yun'er's hand went to Mu Yanfeng's crotch to see if there was a hole. It would have been better if she didn't see it. Once she saw it, she was immediately stunned. Because her hand fell on a sensitive part of Mu Yanfeng's body. Chapter 830. After Zhao Yun'er touched something of his, Mu Yanfeng's body seemed to be electrocuted, and his whole body couldn't help but tremble. Zhao Yun'er looked very embarrassed. She couldn't wait to find a hole to hide in. Of all the things she could touch, she just had to touch Mu Yanfeng's thing below. When Zhao Yun'er's hand touched it, Mu Yanfeng felt that the thing below had an uncontrollable reaction. Mu Yanfeng felt that his chest was quickly strung together with a ball of fire. Zhao Yun'er quickly retracted her hand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Zhao Yun hurriedly apologized. Mu Yanfeng shook his head, and a helpless smile hung on the corner of his mouth. It's okay. Zhao Yun'er's heart slightly tightened. Mu Yanfeng wouldn't be angry, right? Looking at his expression, it seemed that something was wrong. Mu Yanfeng, are you okay? Zhao Yun'er asked carefully. I'm okay, but what? Zhao Yun'er's heart tightened even more. But Yun'er, you have to take responsibility for what you did to me. After Mu Yanfeng finished speaking, he pounced over like a hungry wolf, and pressed Zhao Yun'er under his body. Zhao Yun'er could feel a hard thing in her abdomen. It's over, it's over. I must have played with fire just now. Mu Yanfeng couldn't control himself for a while. Men were like this. When they went crazy, they were definitely like beasts. Zhao Yun was pressed down and had no strength to resist. She could only let Mu Yanfeng press on her body. Mu Yanfeng, don't be impulsive, I'm not ready yet, thinking about doing that kind of thing. Zhao Yun blushed from the tips of her ears to her neck. Yun I want you. These 3 words floated out of Mu Yanfeng's mouth softly, making Zhao Yun's face even hotter. What kind of joke is this? This is not funny at all. Mu Yanfeng, what if Dao De comes back? Even if we want to do this, we have to choose a good time, don't you think so? It's broad daylight, there's no mood at all. Zhao nervously stuttered. Hearing what Zhao Yun said, Mu Yanfeng couldn't help but smile. What Zhao Yun said made Mu Yanfeng feel that it was very funny. Yun was really cute. Mu Yanfeng was just teasing Zhao Yun. Just as he was about to get up from Zhao Yun's body, Zhao Yun's door was pushed open with a creak. Yun. Mulan looked at the scene in front of her in surprise. Shi Ziyu was actually pressing on Zhao Yun's body. Then, he should be preparing to do that kind of thing. Mulan saw this awkward scene and didn't know what to do. She had a feeling that she couldn't advance or retreat. This kind of thing was already embarrassing. Fortunately, Zhao Yun and Mu Yanfeng didn't take off their clothes. If the 2 of them were doing that kind of thing, it would be even more awkward. Mulan thought in her heart, these 2 people are really. Don't they know how to close the door when doing this kind of thing? If the door was closed, she wouldn't have barged in so easily. Fortunately, she had seen it. If someone else had seen it, what would he do? Mulan's face also couldn't help but turn red. Mu Yanfeng calmly got up from Zhao Yun's body, as if nothing had happened. Chapter 831. When Zhao Yun's words fell into Lu Mulan's ears, it was as if Zhao Yun was complaining that Lu Mulan came over and disturbed their mood. No one wanted to be caught doing this kind of thing. Mulan pulled her lips awkwardly and said to Zhao Yun, yeah. Why did I come here? Mulan seemed to be in a hurry. She then looked at Zhao Yun and said to Zhao Yun, Zhao Yun, you can continue. I need to go back now. Saying that, Mulan turned around and was about to leave Zhao Yun's house. Zhao Yun's face was unusually hot. She glanced at Mu Yanfeng with hidden bitterness, as if she was saying to Mu Yanfeng, see, it's all because of you that I was misunderstood. Mu Yanfeng looked at Zhao Yun with grievance. He didn't know that Mulan would suddenly break in. Dao De went out to have fun, so he definitely wouldn't come back for a while. Usually at this time, no one would come to Zhao Yun, so she was more casual. Zhao Yun sighed deeply in her heart. She knew that even if she wanted to explain to Mulan, Mulan wouldn't believe her. Zhao Yun cleared her throat and stopped Mulan. She said to Mulan, Mrs. Mulan, we didn't do anything wrong. Why are you here? Just tell me. Mulan's footsteps paused. She turned around and said to Zhao Yun, in fact, it's nothing. I just came to tell you that my family's land has been settled with Li Zheng. Tomorrow, I can let Erhu go over and level the land. Then, we can start building a house. Zhao Yun nodded. It turned out that Mulan came to talk about this. Okay, then we can build the house as soon as possible. Our families can help each other. Sure. Mulan nodded. If there's nothing else, I'm going back. Mulan only felt embarrassed. It was better for her to leave as soon as possible. Zhao Yun didn't want Mulan to leave right away. She felt that if Mulan left at this time, she would have an indescribable feeling. Mrs. Mulan, is there nothing else? Why don't you stay for a while and we can chat? Zhao Yun said embarrassedly. She was confused and didn't know what she was talking about. Mulan glanced at Mu Yanfeng, who was beside Zhao Yuner, and said in a hurry, "We don't have much time to chat on weekdays. I have a lot of work to do at home. I have a lot of things to do." Since Mulan said so, Zhao Yuner didn't say anything. She couldn't stop Mulan from going back, right? "Yuner, I'm going back now." When Mulan left, she glanced at Zhao Yuner ambiguously and reminded her, "Yuner, you have to close the door properly. It won't be good if someone breaks in. Don't you think so?" After that, Mulan left Zhao Yuner's room and closed the door for Zhao Yuner considerately. When Mulan was far away, Zhao Yuner was still standing in her room in a daze. She didn't know what to do for a while. Mulan's meaning was obvious. She must think that something had happened between her and Mu Yanfeng. She felt sorry for her virginity. She couldn't clear her name even if she jumped into the Yellow River. Zhao Yuner glanced at Mu Yanfeng with hidden bitterness, as if she was saying to Mu Yanfeng, "Don't do it again." Mu Yanfeng laughed and nodded. Today was definitely an accident. If he had expected it, it wouldn't have happened. "Okay, Yuner, I promise I won't do it again." Chapter 832. The next morning, on the way to Yang City, Mulan couldn't help but get close to Zhao Yuner's ear and start gossiping. "Yuner, what do you think? His Highness is so tall and strong. He must have a good job, right?" Hearing Mulan's question, Zhao Yuner blushed. She glanced at Mulan coquettishly and said to Mulan, "Sis-in-law Mulan, what are you talking about?" Mulan chuckled, "All right, don't lie to me. It's not like I didn't see what happened yesterday." Zhao Yuner looked at Mulan helplessly. What could she say? What could she explain? No matter what she said, Mulan wouldn't believe her. "Sis-in-law Mulan, it was really a misunderstanding yesterday. His Highness was just teasing me." "It didn't happen at all," Zhao Yuner pouted. Mulan chuckled. "Yuner, are you shy in front of me?" Zhao Yun naturally wouldn't admit to something she didn't do, not to mention this kind of shameful thing. "Sis-in-law Mulan, do you think I'm shy? Do you think I'm shy?" Zhao Yuner said and winked at Mulan. Mulan saw that Zhao Yuner didn't seem to be lying. Thinking of Zhao Yuner's casual conversation with her, Mulan thought that Zhao Yuner was indeed very generous and didn't know how to be shy at all. It seemed that nothing had happened between Zhao Yuner and Mu Yanfeng. However, Mulan was slightly surprised. After thinking for a while, she finally said to Zhao Yuner, "Yuner, aren't you afraid that His Highness can't control himself? You've already given birth to Daodu and lived with him for such a long time. There's nothing to be shy about." Zhao Yuner didn't know how to respond to Mulan. It's his own business if he can't control himself. "It has nothing to do with me," Zhao Yuner pouted. "Yuner, you can't say that. What if His Highness can't control himself and goes to find other women? His Highness has a lot of women behind him." Mulan deliberately said so to see Zhao Yuner's reaction. She couldn't understand why Zhao Yuner hadn't slept with Mu Yanfeng after such a long time. Since they had decided to be together and had slept together before, it didn't matter if they slept together now. If Zhao Yuner could get pregnant and give birth to a son, the chances of her marrying into His Highness's mansion in the future would be much higher. Zhao Yuner frowned. "Well, if he dares to find other women and can't control himself, I'll divorce him," Zhao Yuner said very casually. After hearing Zhao Yuner's words, Mulan couldn't help laughing. This was the first time she had heard a woman talk about divorcing a man. She wondered what His Highness would think if he heard it. "Haha, His Highness is definitely a good man. Yuner, you must cherish him well," Mulan reminded her. "I know, sister-in-law Mulan." Although the two of them were discussing in a low voice, Mu Hin still heard the content of Zhao Yuner and Mulan's conversation. When it came to the topic of men and women, Mu Hin lowered her head and blushed slightly. She, who was inexperienced, felt very shy. Thinking of that, Muhin recalled that after she finished washing the dishes last night, she was about to go to the toilet to relieve herself. However, halfway there, she was stopped by her brother-in-law's third brother, Zhu Sanlu. Chapter 833. Muhin found Zhu Sanlu's smile very creepy, especially his eyes, which were staring at her sneakily, as if he was sizing up his prey. Muhin sensed danger. Muhin looked at Zhu Sanlu as if he wanted to do something bad to her. After all, she had to obey the family manager's orders in the family manager's heart. She felt that Zhu Sanlu was in danger, but she didn't dare to shout, so she could only avoid him. Muhin thought nothing would happen if she ignored Zhu Sanlu and stayed away from him, but she was wrong. Zhu Sanlu wouldn't let her go so easily. Instead, he blocked her way. Muhin, where are you going? Zhu Sanlu asked with concern. When Muhin saw the smile on Zhu Sanlu's lips and the look in his eyes, she couldn't help but frown. She replied to Zhu Sanlu nervously, I'm going to the latrine pit. Zhu Sanlu raised his chin proudly. Oh, you're going to the latrine pit? Let's go together. I want to go too. Hearing Zhu Sanlu's words, Muhin's heart skipped a beat. You're a man, and I'm a woman. How can the two of us go to the latrine pit together? If other people knew about it, they would laugh at her. Muhin didn't think she would do such a shameful and immoral thing. Zhu Sanlu smiled wretchedly. It's not a big deal. I can go to the latrine pit with my sister-in-law. It's fine even if the two of us go to the latrine pit. The latrine pit in my house can accommodate 2 people. Zhu Sanlu was talking about the time when he went to the latrine pit with Mrs. Qi. Muhin's view of the world was suddenly refreshed. How could there be such a strange thing in the world? How could a brother-in-law and sister-in-law go to the latrine pit together? Was this a joke? While Muhin was still in shock, Zhu Sanlu had already stepped forward and pulled Muhin. He said to Muhin, let's go. Let's go together. When Muhin heard this, she was shocked. She didn't want it. If she really squatted down with Zhu Sanlu, wouldn't Zhu Sanlu be able to see all of her lower body? Muhin quickly withdrew his hand from Zhu Sanlu's and said to Zhu Sanlu, if you want to go to the latrine, you can go alone. I won't go. Seeing that Muhin was about to escape, Zhu Sanlu would not let Muhin off so easily. Instead, he stood in front of Muhin and pretended to be very concerned. How can you not go to the toilet? If you don't solve it in time, won't you suffocate to death? Muhin's face flushed red. I don't feel like doing it anymore. I won't hold it in. Well, if you don't want to go to bed with me, why don't you join me? We can also chat with each other, Sister Muhin, Zhu Sanlu said and moved closer to Muhin. He wanted to be closer to Muhin. Muhin wanted to step back, but unfortunately, there was a wall behind her. She had no choice but to let Zhu Sanlu get closer to her. Sister Muhin, do you know that you are so beautiful? I liked you when I first saw you. What do you think of me? Zhu Sanlu felt that he was at least good-looking. He was not ugly, and he was also a scholar. After he confessed his love, Muhin might agree. At this moment, Muhin only felt disgusted. You're tuning into the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.